a nice even distribution of the progression from all these squads.
Well, now that Wrangle is not the opener, the classic Pochinki Jojo school fight is not going to be there. Now you have Rondo. So surprises are definitely going to be there. And talking about surprises, let's see if even esports can surprise us today. Because talking about their previous stage when they, qualified for the last chance, they were not doing that bad because they were going all in, getting chicken dinner, side by side elimination numbers were also there by Team Everybody Sports. So they gotta work on this. And now that they did not get the momentum that they need to get things going, today is another day. It's a fresh start. Start from think about this. Start from the very beginning. Get a chicken dinner. Maybe try to be in the top 3 in the first match. Stay alive. That's what Team Boing Donkey did. If you recall the first match of Boing Donkeys in this stage, that was the match where they took their first fight in the last zone. And that's what they needed to get their momentum. Once they got the momentum, things, turned in their favor and they got good elimination numbers. After that, they were winning second fight as they were winning their first previously. So you need to do the same thing. Focus Boing Donkeys. Play the way they played. Stay alive. Do not fight into early on skirmishes. Specifically, those drop flash needs to be avoided.
Yeah, I think you gotta try and play a little bit of a smarter game, especially coming into the last day, right? And on the topic of momentum, the only way that you're gonna get momentum here is if you take it, right? If you sit and wait for the lobby to allow you the opportunity to get momentum, you're gonna wait until the next 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons because that will never happen, right? These teams are relentless. They are just gonna give everything they got as much as they can, and if they see you as an opportunity, good luck. I hope you can respond in kind because they are going to keep the pressure up. They're going to come knocking at your door, demanding a few points along the way. So if A1 wants to change it up, they're going to have to bring in the heat, right? They're going to have to pull off like what you were mentioning, Boing Donkey, just kind of going click, right? Knowing exactly what they need to work with and where their strength is, and then trying to build on that moving forward. So for A1, I'm really going to be hoping that today is that day that we see the turnaround, that we see them looking to contest with the rest of the squads. But for the rest of the lobby, I want to wish them good luck because I think they will need a little bit of that here. Today is going to be a very exciting one. We do have quite a few teams tied up with points, right? Like 9th place is tied. We see 11th place is tied. So there's several points in the day here that the teams can play for those big major upsets. And nobody is secured, right? Not even Boing Donkey sitting at the top of the leaderboard. They're not safe. Nobody is safe. And I think that's just a good testament to how insane the competition is coming through from these squads and just what they might have in store for us here today.
Well, the competition is definitely getting intense because with 10 points difference, we have probably 10 teams. So one good match and you can jump from 13th spot to the top 3. And that's crazy. Even if you look towards the top 3, they don't have a lead. Usually when we see the points table, we see at least a single team or 2 to 3 teams having lead from all the other lobby. But this is not the case here. We have 49 points by Boing Donkeys, and then we have 47. Talent Sports is on 47, then 45 by Skyforce, and then 41 by Triber MSC. So 5 teams are here because Vampire is also on 40 points. 5 teams on 40. Then we have 7 to 8 teams on 30. 3 to 4 teams or maybe 5 teams on 20. So that's not a big difference. One good match, 120 total points match, or maybe 25 total points match if you manage to get 15 eliminations, which is not that easy. So you can jump from 12th spot, 13th spot right onto the top 3. So you gotta work on that. You have to work on your first match. If any team has a plan to make a comeback, it has to start from the very first match because once the pressure is on you, it's not going to be easy for you to perform. And once you put the pressure on your opponents, it's not going to be easy for them to perform. So the first match is going to be the most important match.
Yeah, and as we know what they say about pressure, right? Pressure is what helps form diamonds or make diamonds. So I want to see who are going to be those ones to shine. And it's scary, right? One winner chicken dinner can take a team from that second page and put them quite comfortably over into the first page. For A1, it might be doable as well, but it's going to require a little bit more finessing to ensure that they finish in a strong place here. But of course, it's all going to be up to what they are willing to do moving into these final 6 matches. The big decider to see which 9 teams are going to be joining the other 9 qualified squads in that grand finals. So far, there's going to be a lot of pressure continuing to build here. Of course, now we are getting closer and closer to that, but I'm curious to find out from our viewers, of course, who they think is going to be coming in clutch here. who's going to be this team to take that first winner chicken dinner today. Of course, I don't want to make any predictions just yet because let's go for the surprise instead, right? As we know, yesterday, DRS were the team to rise up, getting themselves a glorious 22 points, 12 of which came through from their eliminations. And you were also praising Voin Donkey for what they were doing. I mean, exceptional performance on their end. But then there were a few other aggressive teams that also stepped up to the plate, right? Like Regicide coming through with the 5 eliminations, making sure that they can kind of keep that momentum, keep on just pushing forward. Vikings coming through with 8 eliminations as well. So there's a lot of opportunity here for the squads really to try and capitalize on the available opportunity. And it's all going to come down to what they'll be settling with. But the other big question that other part that I'm thinking of here is whether or not the zone is going to be a little bit kinder to our teams, right? Yesterday, 4 of our 6 matches went to the water, right? On a map where you don't really think of water play coming into it, it happened. Miramar, we went down to that southern beach twice, right? So I don't quite know what's going to happen, but I hope the zone is feeling maybe a little less thirsty today.
I mean, that's the same reason why we saw DRS getting chicken in the first match, getting 22 points. And then they had only 4 points in the next 4 matches. Because Rondo was the map where they got the chicken dinner. Then Erangel was another difficult zone. We saw 2 Erangels having worst zones ever. Then we saw 2 Miramars with the worst zones ever. So that's the reason probably that's why DRS have, after 22 points, we were expecting that they will end their day around 40 to 50 points, but they only managed to get 35, which is also a good number, but not that good to be on the points table or on top of the points table. But talking about some points difference or cutoff points, DK, I have this question from you. What do you think is going to be the cutoff points after 9 matches?
Ooh, the cutoff point after 9 matches.
After 12 matches, what is going to be the cutoff point for 9th spot after 12 matches?
Ooh, all right. I want to say it will probably be in the 60s. Say like 62, 63, somewhere around about there, right? I think that is what we are going to be looking at. But of course, what we are also then going to be looking at is the flight path as we do take our approach right here into the lovely Rondo. We are going to be starting at the Lanpo over on towards that southwestern side, heading all the way up to Kunshai. That one, we're heading up there to the north. So an interesting spread here across the map, but test track and the Neox factory as well as stadium could definitely come into play here.
Absolutely. That depends on the teams. What is going to be their plan of action? Are they going for the drop clashes? Because it's the first time. It's not the first time that they're playing Rondo. Yesterday, they did play their first match up against each other. The lobby is still the same. You know, there's this thing about changing groups every day or playing against different teams every day that you do not realize where the teams are going. But now that you played Rondo yesterday, you have the idea where all the teams are going to go. You had the map feed. You can see it. But are there going to be any other drop clashes today? The recall option is still not available because I don't see any recall site here. But let's see. Only time is going to tell. I also don't play this map a lot, but you know, you can tell me, DK, because you love to play this game. You love to play this map.
Ask the question again, and I can give you a more. Are you asking about the recalls, or are you
do we have recalls here today or not?
Not that I can see. Not that I can see. It doesn't look like it, but of course, I've not really looked at Rondo from the spectator slot all that much to be able to tell you. But normally it shows next to the players. I don't see that showing next to the players' names. I see, like, you can see the parachute now as the players are dropping in. Usually the recall would show like the knockout sign there next to center. Yeah.
Absolutely, but look at this. Vampire Sports coming up again. DRS in an early fight between the table toppers. Or maybe you can say the dominators of yesterday. Vampire Sports, they want to climb up the points table. They know the elimination number is only one thing that's going to help them to get there. But then there's Bandit versus RRQ. Bandit eliminating RRQ's players. You got to watch out. You got to get all those elimination numbers, and you have to make sure that you don't lose any player in the process. But Vampire, they've lost one player. Cantor is eliminated. They have one elimination number too. But it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them in the later fights. But for now, it's Skyforce also coming in. Bandit trying to go all in. It's a couple of fours versus all the players of Bandit. He's not going to handle them. He's not going to be able to handle them. And Bandit will eliminate RRQ on the 15th spot. 4 eliminations to the bag. But then there's Skyforce, who is also trying to third party in a fight where DRS is coming up against Vampire Sports. It's not one or two team, it's the three teams fighting with each other.
Gotta love it though. A few of the squads that have been proving to be quite aggressive when it comes to their pacing here. Let's see who's going to be the one to back it up. DRS, though, surprisingly, out of these three teams finding themselves in the engagement, going to be the one that is maybe not as aggressive, right? That has not been able to capitalize on as many eliminations, at least not for the time being. Let's see how they're going to look to push through this one. Of course, Vampire, they had 25 eliminations coming into here. DRS only sitting with 20. And then on the opposite end, we do see the players there from the Skyforce side coming through with 30. The most aggressive team yesterday. But are they going to be able to keep that momentum going? Oh, not like that you won't. As JD steps up and ends the run right there for them. Skyforce are out of here. Vampire is now going to be pushing up as example gets wrapped up and shipped out. But a very contentious start to the day. The team's not wasting any opportunities. Vampire sitting on 3-piece. DRS sitting on a 3-piece. But so far, DRS looking pretty good, right? 4 eliminations up. Are they going to be able to get even more?
Well, they're certainly trying to send a statement out here because look at them. They're just indulging into fights after fights, and 4 eliminations to the back. They're still trying to get some more on Vampire Sports. It's a 3v3 situation on both the sides, but Vampire, they gotta work on this. If they lose the first match, the momentum is definitely gonna be lost as well. But Kilobyte T, look at this elevation, look at this angle. He's coming from the third angle from where he can surprise Vampire Sports. But Vampire, if they try to get out of those compounds, they will be caught off guard. Kilobyte T, you gotta wait and try to surprise Vampire Sports. Meola is holding, all the players are holding. Yes, they are trying to loot as well, but they know that DRS is here, and it's gonna be very risky. If one or maybe 2 players get knocked out, it's gonna look impossible for them to win this fight. They have 2 elimination points, they need more. Only winning this fight is gonna get them into the top 3 spots. If they lose it, they'll have to come back into the next match with more aggression, and they have to, get more points. But talking about some more aggressive teams out there, it's T2K trying to throw some sprays on some random vehicle. Maybe there were a player that they spotted and we are unable to spot him. Who we want us to surprise everyone in the lobby. For now, they are on the 15th spot. But there was a team on the last points. Was that A1 Esports? And are they not here today? Are they not joining?
I don't know. That is a very good question. I mean, it seems like it's possible. Maybe it's just Rondo. Who knows, right? We'll find out a little bit later on as we get into the rest of the day. Demo, I'm going to be curious to see what Demo's going to be bringing through, right? We did see in the playoffs, Demo coming in with some crazy plays on day number 3, running quite a few players down. Yeah. Are we going to see a little bit more of that? I got to say, though, Nexury, actually, they've been having a somewhat decent and balanced day yesterday, right? Yes, 29 points, not the craziest amount of points that they could have, but a very balanced approach in that, right? 17 eliminations, 12 placement points. So they've been showing some pretty good consistency. I'm wanting to see them take it a little bit further here today, right? Capitalize on a few more additional eliminations and maybe try and finish a little bit stronger with regards to the end of those games. Of course, we'll see soon whether or not they can do that. But one team that needs no introduction, of course, is going to be the Xavier, or the Dingoes, as you call them. I'd love to see them hitting those double-digit placement points.
Absolutely, everyone would love to see them hitting double-digit placement points, but their entire focus is on elimination, as they know that it's going to be very important to play like this in PMGC levels, and that's a PMGC level team out there. And look at this, Dingo Xavier is once again trying to cut down a rotation. This time C1 was punished and Kinu, he was knocked out and finished, and now they're trying to get more elimination points, but Levi's was out in the open. And look at this, a statement was being made by champions as well, as they are not so easy to eliminate, and now they're trying to move forward forward. They're trying to be aggressive on this spot. They eliminated Levi's. It's a 3v3 situation. 2504 waiting for that push. And now the entirety of Team C1 is going to push here. It's a 3v3 situation. They're going to welcome. Lamborghini is going to welcome C1 with the grenades. And Atomic is going to feel the heat of these grenades. But let's see what's going to happen. Dockel comes in with another beautiful grenade. Things are getting heated up on both this side. Atomic is going to face all the bullets from Xavier's side. And once again, look at this. Lamborghini comes in with a beautiful grenade, takes 2 players down. It's a 1v3 situation, and Lamborghini seals the deal with the 1v3. This guy is insane with the utilities. 2 knocked out with grenades and 1 with the Molotov. A beautiful 1v3 coming in, and you know, this player always wins fights for his team. He is that one player that their team can rely on to deal with any 1v3s or any 1v4s.
I mean, I think it's very safe to say that Lamborghini has found the NOS button, right? Hitting that boost and just going absolutely crazy. Very, very impressive play they're coming through from them. So Xavier, again, capitalizing on the aggression now all the way up into 5th position based on what they've been showing so far. T2K, though, on the other hand, yeah, they need to up the ante. They are going to be the team sitting all the way in 15th position. They will have to try and double down, looking to see if they can push, and play a little bit more. But this is now that opportunity for the teams to see, can they bring it home? Only 15 squads in this lobby. That was a very interesting start to the day. It does make things a little bit easier, right? There's a little bit less contention coming through here, seeing that the numbers are slightly lower. But it also takes away a few of those additional points. And speaking about points, this is now going to be that opportunity for the Vikings and Talent to potentially get the ball rolling. We can see even more squads rotating off here, as it is going to be Halal, Axotron, just trying to get themselves situated. But I like what the squads are doing, right? Not necessarily staying around too much, trying to keep that momentum going, keep on moving forward, looking to see where they can get themselves situated.
Well, they stopped to say hello to each other, and now they're moving back. They're trying to stay away from the fights, because, you know, if somebody from them tries to break the pact that they were having, things would have turned sour. But talking about things turning sour, Bandit versus T2K going on. Ajaya confirming some elimination points in Hoika. And I think that's the worst thing about Team Bandit. Whenever they endorse themselves into a fight, there is some other team coming up and doing a third party. Or maybe they do not get careful with the rotations after getting some early elimination points. They get over aggressive. And T2K, this time, the aggression is going to get punished by them. They confirmed 1 knocked out. But who stole? Okay, they confirmed the elimination point as well. It's AST on our side now. So there's this thing about T2K and AST's players. I get confused most of the time, because T2K's players, ex-players, used to, T2K's players used to play in AST's players used to play in T2K. So it's a mix and match of players. You know, Gyante used to play in T2K, I believe. Riggs used to play in T2K. Delta used to play in DRS. Gyante used to play in DRS. So they're constantly changing their squads, and that gets very confusing. But now that we have DRS on our screen, 4 elimination points with the name, but 2 players standing. But T2K, they took 1 player knocked out on Bandit, and they are coming back, trying to take the toll. They're trying to, punish their opponents once again.
Well, let's see whether or not that punishment is going to be served. Now, Bandit feeling the pressure as quite a puzzling approach here on the side of them. Where will we take these next positions? As you can see, the rush is there, almost getting that quick vehicle trade. Tensky now just moving in, taking down Igneous. Up comes the rest of T2K, Rules OG, and Ajay.
That's a 1v3.
For an angle, and this is such a tough spot, but maybe something can happen. For who? I don't know, but it seems like T2K could get this one in the back.
Oh,
yep, there
God.
we go. Tensky getting wrapped up like it's a little, a sweet cover, and down they go right back to the lobby. 4-way LC, and of course now Tribe Erebus getting ready for a little bit of an altercation as well.
Well, I think Tensky only came here for the revenge, and he got Ignis in the process. So I feel like his revenge is done. But here we have 4LC coming up against AST. Can't they? Gotta watch out. On the back of it, a fight between Vikings and NEX is going in. But 4LC trying to rotate from this right from the front of T2K. So some utilities are going in back and forth. One of the players of Team 4LC is knocked out. They're going to try and take him, put him in the vehicle and try to fall back. But wait a second, Fearless coming in with the flanking angle. But Trex, as he tries to move forward, he takes one down, confirms elimination number. But Punk coming in with the jump shot with S12K. It's not looking good for Team ASC. It's not looking good for them because now situation is down to a 1v2. They have two players that they have to knock down or eliminate, but Delta is the last man standing. All the responsibilities are on his shoulders. Punk is right in front of him. It's 4LC versus AST, but the situation is not looking good for Delta.
Well, let's see whether or not Delta can maybe manage to wangle themselves out of this one. Fortunately, their health bar is still full, so they don't have too much to worry about it. And they do have a few meds to try and capitalize on. Nexury, unfortunately, not going to be able to continue the fight here on the lovely Rondo as they get taken on down. And Zoro now looking to be either the hero or bring Delta down to zero. As the push comes through, Delta just patiently awaiting this rush. The nade could be exactly what they need. Delta taking quite a bit of damage already. Ooh, and there we go.
Whoa.
Effortless play coming through from Zoro. Zoro go like, yep, that's fine. I got it. I got a nade. Don't you worry. And 4 eliminations going over to 4YLC. Team Talon. Out they go. So even more squads now starting to fall to the wayside. And I love this pressure, right? Already 6, 7 teams already gone. Maybe even more as the pressure continues to ride. And things are looking pretty tough for DRS, right? They've got only 2 players remaining in this match.
Well, the best thing about this match is that the drop clashes were minimized. Teams were trying to avoid the drop clashes. It's the rotational fights that we're talking about. Yes, 3 teams were eliminated because of the drop fights, but the other teams got eliminated because they were fighting in the rotations. And as we just saw, 4LC coming up against DRS, that was a rotational fight. Coming up against AST and getting 4 elimination points, that is brilliant by 4LC. This team is also stepping up big time. But then we have Vampire Sports who needs to step up. They need to have their fair share of top 3 spots, but are they going to get it or not? DX is so close to them, and they have the information that some of the players of Team Vampires are also here. So this is the edge of the circle where DX will try to push forward because they don't have the zone. Well, they're already in the zone, but the rest of the players, they need to push through. They need to move forward. But then Lamborghini still trying to spot some players out. On one side it's Vampire, on another it's Halal Zitron. He's not letting him step into the vehicle and get away from the situation. He is trying to give the collateral damage, burst the vehicle, and probably try to get the knocked out. And then on one side he is putting pressure on Halal Zitron, and on another he's trying to spot the players of Vampire Esports down. So DX, the entire plan of DX is to get elimination points, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strategy that they've been using coming through those playoffs. That's what they've been using yesterday as well. So far, it has been paying off quite well for them. Now, Voin Donkey looking to get the ball rolling here. Already 3 eliminations up, but still a long way to go to get into the next safe, secure position. Again, the zone looking quite challenging. We do see quite a bit of a challenge up ahead of them. And of course, now with Dunching being right there in the zone, it does allow for a little bit of that potential urban engagement to come through here. But again, looking at the zone itself, there's not a lot of good positions really to take occupancy of, or not really somewhere that you can hide all too well to play off of, right? Quite a few of those ridges and open fields are going to be looking to apply the pressure across the way. There we go. Razak just making sure that the terrain is properly watered before moving on. I like that quick bit of a gardening move, but Potato is going to get hit as Lamborghini looks to step up yet again.
Absolutely, and now he's coming in with the bull play. Some weird plays from Lamborghini is also there. He's trying to confirm the elimination point, but the zone is going to force him to move back. But on another side is Tockel with the beautiful sprays out there. He connected some bullets, some headshots were delivered, but are they going to push forward to confirm those elimination points or not? But look at this. Wait a second. 4YLC, they found their ways to the fight. They're coming for a third party, but Punk gets eliminated by Geyser. and Team DX is going to realize that there's another team charging in, and they will definitely try to come for a third party. And look at Lamborghini. He's going to move forward. He's going to take Potato down. He's going to eliminate him as well. Gazer is the last man standing. Lamborghini is coming in with all the players, with all the cavalry, and now they're going to try to maximize their elimination points. That's classical textbook play by DX, and that's what they do. They're known for this aggression, and once again, they're showing it. 4 more elimination points, probably at least 3 more are confirmed because all 3 players are knocked out. But wait a second, Vikings is also there. They're trying to third party the players of Wine Donkeys, the knocked out players. In fact, DX is not happy with it because 2 of their elimination points are stolen away.
Well, that is unfortunate for them, but let's see whether or not DX can get this play
Oh
done.
my
There we
God.
go. Lamborghini with the big old carry coming through hard here.
Lumber-gumber.
Point donkey. Point donkey, down they go. The Vikings on 6 eliminations. DXavier on 6. Vampires and DRS just following on their heels. Hello, Axatron, though, yet to do a little bit of something here, right? They still have the full squad up. They've got no eliminations to speak of for the time being, but hopefully soon we can see a little bit of that action coming through from them. DXavier off in the distance, getting pressured here as Vampire Esports looks to defend the edge of zone, but DRS also looking to do exactly the same.
Absolutely, but look at DX. They pushed with the 2 players. One is still outside the zone, but Turca's position is compromised. You gotta watch out for Vampire Sports. They're not gonna let you do this so easily. It's a 1v3 situation for you. You gotta wait for your teammates to come back and try to rescue you. But is DX gonna do that or not? But talking about teams who are not trying to indulge themselves into some fights, and that team is definitely Halal Citron, who is trying to stray away from all the troubles. But they need to have elimination points. Maybe if they confirm 2-3 elimination points and then confirm a chicken dinner, it will be a good start for them. But wait a second, the fight is going to start between Team Vikings and Team Dingoes. On another side, it's Team DRS trying to rotate inside the zone, but there's another team close by. They gotta watch out for them. DX going all in. They will probably try to save their player, but I think it's too late. They have the edge of the zone, and Vampire is coming in. They're trying to receive the toll. You have to be careful. It's a 1v3 situation out in the open. Nola was there. Turca trying to give cover fire to his teammate, but he's not gonna do that. He's gonna charge in, and he's gonna be dealt with by Team Vampire Sports. And what a beautiful show of skills by them. The crossfire setup was right there, and the Dingoes, we can say that they stepped into the trap of Team Vampires.
Yep, they definitely did. Beautiful setup from Vampire Esports. 4 eliminations for them, but a very costly engagement as they are down to only 2 remaining players now. See whether or not Vikings are going to be able to get any response to follow through from this one. The pressure is going to be on. The drop coming down is a nice little bit of a cherry on the cake. I don't know if anybody is going to go for that, but now it's going to be Vampire looking for that opportunity, that angle to find the lineup into the side here of the Vikings. But Woon, a good off position that they've got here, could definitely provide them with a bit of that hard cover. But I think essentially their teammate up on the front line is going to be that main aggressor here.
Absolutely, a beautiful spray coming in by Lazarus will leave the opponent player on 1 HP. But I guess it's not going to be easy for Vampire Sports to win this fight, but it's Killer YT who's going to get his hands on that cherry on the top of cake. But talking about some good things, won't will take the first player down. That's the barrier breaker that they were waiting for. The barrier has been broken, and now they're going all in. They're charging in. Vampire Sports, only 1 player left behind. He has to face all 3 players. And look at Vikings. They're just going all in after taking 1 player down. I think the information was there. They knew that only 2 players are here, but wait for the third party. DRS comes in. Killer YT with a beautiful spray confirms elimination point in Vampire, and Team Vikings are not happy. They had 9 elimination points. This was their chance to go to the double digit in terms of eliminations, but DRS sold it away, and now they will try to do the same thing with DRS that they did on Team Vampire. Once again, it's another 2v3 situation, but Halal Exitron, now they realize that they don't need to sleep, because if they sleep, the lobby is going to eliminate each other, lobby is going to eat each other. They need to have some fair share elimination points, and they are coming for a third party, maybe a backstab on Team DRS. They gotta watch out, they gotta be careful. Yes, they are firm and standing, but if they try to fight with 2 teams at the same time on different ends, things aren't gonna look a little bit messy for them. But DRS, a fallback was there. They're trying to play by the book. They're trying to play by the zone. They're rotating 1 by 1. They're not indulging themselves into some aggressive fights.
Yeah, it's an interesting approach that we see here, kind of keeping themselves out of harm's reach. But there's still a lot of opportunity available to these squads here, as we are going to be looking at that zone's closure that will start right now. Zone 7 imminent. It's just about to hit in about 2 minutes and a bit of change. Now, Vikings, they need to find a way to get themselves resituated. 9 eliminations, definitely going to be the way to go here. If they can find that winner chicken dinner, it's going to be a very, very strong finish for them. And that would very comfortably catapult them well up to the well up into those standings, rather. I mean, 1 point away, and they would quite comfortably, I think, sit up into like 4th, somewhere around about there. But we'll see soon what Fader has in store for them. Now it's going to be Killer YT feeling a little bit of the heat here as Halal Axatron starts to get the ball rolling. DRS get eliminated. Down they go. Halal getting their first Elam on board. And it's this big old showdown. 1 elimination coming in for Halal. 10 eliminations coming through for the Vampires. Either team could still potentially claim this winner chicken dinner. It's going to be Break letting the first nade loose. Trying to just keep the opponents here at arm's length. But is Halal going to sit back and let this one slide? Or are they going to look to get aggressive and rush straight on forward?
Absolutely, the utility player is going to be very important. You have to use those utilities out there. The cover is being deployed by Vikings, but the minute advantage is not there. It's a 3v4 situation. Look at the map. Look at the split by Halal Exitron. They have everything in control. Gotta watch out. All the sprays are going. Utilities are coming in. The grenade is gonna be the right on target grenade that they need. But Halal Exitron, all the utilities are being wasted with Mad Cat coming in with the first knockout. And then here comes the confirmation. This was the barrier breaking situation that this team needed. But wait a second, a trade knock from Break is also going to be there. Mad Cat, his position is revealed. He's trying to hide behind the boulder, trying to throw some smokes as well. The virtual cover is being deployed. But it's a 3v2 situation. They gotta deal with them. Look at this. Won't will try to get the elimination number confirmed with the weaker. Mad Cat is spotted and he's taken down. Now back to a 2v2. This is not looking good for Halal Exitron. They're making so many mistakes.
They're traveling to get the momentum going again, right? Them being a little bit cautious for such a long time, the past 20 minutes, has made it quite difficult for them to react.
What a wrap around.
But yeah, I think for Vikings, seeing that they've been so active throughout the entire game, it is quite easy for them to just continue with what they've been doing so far. But this is that sandwich now coming through from the side of the Vikings. There's going to be Woon on the one side, Break on the other. The jump shot is there.
Whoa.
Headband gets taken down. Now 6ix9ine coming through with a beautiful molly is going to potentially take Break down. Yes, there we go. The game's not over yet. One player on either side now left to contest for this winner chicken dinner. Woon could definitely swoop in and get the victory, steal that winner chicken dinner, or rather claim it for themselves. The utility starting to rain on down. 6ix9ine quickly taking a bit of damage, but of course the beautiful terrain deformation coming in, allowing 6ix9ine a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a ditch to hide in to get themselves patched up. Hitman now going to be relaying the information over to their teammate, but it all comes down to this. This nade could maybe be the end of the road here. 6ix9ine trying to strategically position themselves behind the trees and use the terrain to their advantage. Hitman again relaying that information. The nade is there. The damage is in. Wound so close to getting taken down, but the push is there. And there we go. Hello, Axatron, rising out of the ashes, coming forward and getting themselves a glorious winner chicken dinner. Their first one for the day and their second victory right here in the last chance qualifier.
Absolutely, a brilliant show of skills by both the teams, but you know, that's what we needed from the very first match. That was a brilliant gameplay. What a way to kick things off. Game number 1 on the map of Rondo delivered everything we hoped for. Chaos, clutch, and carnage, everything. But what a brilliant show of skills by both the teams. Halal Exitron getting the first chicken dinner. That's what they wanted.
Yep. That's what they wanted, and that is what they did. I mean, they came very close to not getting that chicken, right? Looking at what the Vikings were doing, they were just having so much momentum. I definitely think a good takeaway for Halal here is to maybe start a little bit sooner, right? Don't wait 20 minutes before you start fighting, right? Yes, this time it paid off for them, but it's a very tough Very tough call to make here. So either which way, they did get their hands on that glorious winner chicken dinner. So well done, well played by them. Of course, the MVP is going to be on the side of Vikings. It'll be Wound coming through with 5 eliminations and an absolute bucket load of elimination damage, right? 1,253. That means that they've essentially taken down 12 players, 7 more than they've been able to convert into elimination.
Absolutely. Team Vikings' step up is crazy by them. I mean, 9 elimination points that they had in total when they were coming up against DRS, fighting with Vampire Sports and eliminating them in a advantageous fight. Although they had 3 players, Vampire had 2, but still, this is the same team who went for the third party on Vampire and managed to bring them down to the last 2 players and then eliminating them. So all in all, it was a good gameplay by Vikings, and that's the reason why they managed to get 30 elimination points and 19 in total. Although an appetizer gameplay from Halal Exotron was also there. They only had 4 elimination points, 10 placement points, but what a brilliant show of skills by Vikings, 19 in total. Then we had DRS with 10, Dingoes with 9. Dingoes coming up against all the big names out there. They were fighting with Vampire on one end, DRS on another. Then they were also trying to gatekeep all the teams who were trying to make their ways inside the zone. And although they lost one of their player in the first fight, in the early on aggression fight, but yeah, only with the 3 men left behind, Dingoes was still looking pretty deadly. But moving on, we have Wine Donkeys, the nominators of yesterday, with 8 points.
Yeah, 8 points, definitely going to be looking quite comfortable. The good way to start off the day. 4YLC Bandit also coming in with their scores there. But only 2 teams not being able to bag anything off the back of this first batch, right? That was Skyforce and RRQ. But look at this. Vikings now flying up 9 slots all the way up into that glorious 3rd place. You can see Vampires, D Xavier, as well as Halal Axatron all capitalizing and benefiting from the aggression that they were able to show in this first match of the day. Halal, not necessarily too aggressive, but still being able to capitalize on those placement points. The only team on this first page sitting here with 2 victories, 2 winner chicken dinners. Hopefully this is but a taste, as you said, right? A bit of an appetizer as what we could expect to see come through from Halal Axatron for the rest of the day.
Well, talking about those teams who are making their ways comfortable on this map, I think we are already seeing DRS adapting to the rondo, because yesterday they had a chicken dinner. Talking about their total points, they have 45, but yes, they have 32 points in 2 rondo maps and the rest of the points in the other matches. Just think about this, 13 in the rest, 5 matches and 32 in 2 matches. This clearly tells that they are adapting to Rondo pretty well. Strong map control, strong. The timing was also there with them. But there are some other teams playing really good. Skyforce, they did not get so many points, but yeah, for Royalty, it was also a good match from their side. Then we had Champions Sports who struggling there early on fight. RRQ also struggling. It was Bandit who eliminated RRQ. Just think about this. RRQ is one of those tough teams out there. Bandit, yeah, they are struggling, but still managing to eliminate Team RRQ.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cheeky start, right? That's what you got to do. You got to go and look to play those upsets. So exciting things coming through here from them. 2 placement points, right? That's all that Bandit has been able to secure so far. So definitely shows that they are prioritizing aggression, and they are definitely the most aggressive team over on that second page. But we got to give that winner chicken dinner to somebody, and it is going to go straight to Halal Axatron. Curious to see what's going to happen as we move into the rest of the day. Of course, we are going to be heading over to Erangel next to see what the teams will have in store for us. Who's going to be the one looking to come in clutch, hot off the press, securing themselves that first victory.
Absolutely, but big props to Lamborghini. Once again, the player was on fire. Those sprays were crazy, and the grenades were also, he was trying to pull off a set of show out there. And in every other match, Lamborghini, he just goes all in. He eliminates everyone who gets in his way. A 1v3 by him, that was also beautiful and effortless. But we have to move towards our match number 2, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go to our match number 2, we have a short break. So stay tuned, stay with us. We will be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready to move on to the next stretch of the day. Of course, we're done with Rondo. We're getting ready to move into a little bit of that Erangel engagement to see who's going to be popping off and, well, who's going to be looking on from in the lobby. Void Donkey yesterday, this was the turning point where they really locked in and honed that aggression to start climbing to the top of the overall ranking. So I'm curious as to who's going to be the team to try and replicate those efforts here today. Will we see more teams looking to contest, looking to shake things up a little bit? Or could we have maybe some teams that have not yet been able to find themselves any winner chicken dinners looking to do exactly that?
Well, to be honest, only game number 1 is done. We have 5 more matches. Tournament. Whenever you try to win a tournament, you have to be consistent and comfortable in all the matches, because one match gameplay cannot win you tournaments, cannot make you qualify. Talking about Halal Exitron, they had some good points in the previous match, but it's not going to confirm the qualification. They need to have at least 1 or 2 more matches because the competition is still going. They got the chicken dinner, they had 3 elimination points, but there were some other teams who had other plans. They had 3rd elimination points, 6 lesson points, and they were still on top of this team. So, yep, I think it's not going to be easy for anyone to dominate on the points table, because in every other match, we see someone else coming up. We see someone else trying to dominate. And once again, DK, the sheet is looking messy to me.
Yeah,
there's a sheet that we have.
Yeah. It's just something that went wrong here.
I didn't do anything.
No, it was me. I was trying to make it look pretty, okay, and then I unprettied it, right? So it's fun. We'll get it. I'll get it sorted. But yeah, it is going to be an exciting bout here to see exactly where our squads are going to look to get themselves situated. Who's going to be the one to come in clutch, come in hot, and walk away with all the bragging rights? There's quite a lot to be established here today, I would say, because I mean, again, right, the teams definitely looking to do as much as they can when it comes to looking to play these upsets, and I'm expecting quite a few upsets to be had, as the teams are going to be running all over the place. I went from making things look pretty to absolutely breaking it, so let's maybe not do that. But so, do you think there's any one particular team that... What the heck is going on with this thing? Anyway, do you think there's any one particular team that is going to be looking to really blow us away with their step up moving into Erangel? Or do you think we could be looking at maybe just a little bit more of a continuous flow here across the board?
Well, if there's any one team that you want me to just name it, it has to be Viking Esports, because the way Team Viking Esports is playing lately, they're on the top 3 sports now. They try to breach the top 3 just on their elimination numbers, completely relying on the elimination numbers, and they're also trying to get some placement points. But let's talk about how beautifully they eliminated Vampire Sports, how they eliminated a few players of Team Dingos. The third party, the aggression, everything was so top notch, and they knew what they were doing. They absolutely knew what they were doing. But Hey, it's time for the next match. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on towards our second match of Lidoma Asia Showdown Season 4. It's the match number 8 of Last Chance. So this is the last chance to every other team. If they want to qualify, they have to be in the top 9 when all these 12 matches end. Today is the day where we will be highlighting or discussing or finalizing our 9 more finalists. So, talking about the flight path, it's going to go from Kameshki to Sisnoka Military Base. A complete northeastern, in fact, southeastern shift is there. But talking about the circle, where is it going to go? Is it going to be any easy for the teams to play on the map of angles today? Or we'll see some crazy circle like we saw yesterday. We saw some circles going on towards Military Power, no weaponized side, and then we saw military bases circle back to back. So let's see where the circle is going to go. I truly believe that this flight path indicates that the circle is going to go towards probably the western side, Gatka, Quarry side, or it can go towards Severnian shooting range. If it goes here, it's going to be one of those another crazy circles. But talking about those early on drop fights, DRS, they were always getting indulged in an early clash. And look at the left side of look at the small screen. DRS is coming up against another team. This time, I think it's Vampire or it's RRQ versus DRS going in here in Malta. Example will find the first player. He will confirm the elimination number. Here comes another player. Example will be taken down because no good will find him with a beautiful jump shot, and it's not looking good for both the sides. JD confirms another elimination point, but RRQ also trying to capitalize. They're also trying to make the situation even for them. It's a 2v3 now. Look at this. A beautiful shot delivered by Kilobyte. He will leave all the players wondering what's going to happen with them in the next matches, because the hope for this match is over as Kilobyte seals the deal for his team. DRS coming all in, going all in and running through RRQ. But here comes another fight. It's Sky Force versus Team 4 by LC, not Scarface. But yeah, Senchi, he was so beautiful. He was playing brilliantly through elimination points with the tally. And look at this, a beautiful 1v3 will definitely eliminate another team for LC. Back to the lobby.
Yeah, it is a pretty hot and heated start to the lovely Erangel that we have. Now it's going to be the Vikings looking to test themselves, as well as Potato has been spotted. But will Potato be able to get this one cooking? Will they maybe come up with a few chips along the way? The answer is unfortunately no. Voint Donkey will be losing one of their players right then and there. No surprise though, because Potato was quite separated from the rest of the team, so not necessarily the easiest point to try and contest from. But for the Vikings, it is looking quite comfortable as they now continue to push further and further over to that western side. But I like the fact that the zone is centered up over to the fields just west of Pachinki, so it will allow for a lot of opportunities to be played at here as the teams could look to get themselves situated. Gatka, of course, is going to come into play. So could Quarry. And based on what we saw yesterday, these teams are going to be feeling a little bit more relieved, seeing that they don't have to fight as much for the water this time around, right? They can predominantly focus on staying up on dry land, making sure that they've got a good position to play from, and then just defend those angles.
Absolutely, but talking about DRS, another team who was trying to dominate. Yes, they had a chicken yesterday, but today they are indulging into early on drop fights, and unfortunately, DRS won the fight. They lost one player, still enough for them to get a chicken dinner. They have 3 men standing. All they need to do is stay alive, stay away from all the fights. But there's this thing about DRS. They always try to go for elimination numbers. Even if they are 3 players or 2 players, they will try to gatekeep someone. They'll try to, poke someone, try to pinch them, and try to maximize the elimination numbers, because they know once they get elimination points, once they get the momentum that they need, or maybe we can say that they are trying to practice their synergy after the recent changes. DRS was playing with their squad from like last 2 years probably, and now there is a lot of some players left the team, 2 to 3 players left the team. They have some new players coming in. They need to practice the synergy. They need to practice their skill set, or maybe they're trying to win more and more fights together. That's one of the reasons why DRS is trying to get all in every fight. Example is an old player, Kilobyte, another old player. Then we have JD and Cyclone, 2 new men coming in. I mean, 50% of the players are changed. So maybe that's why we're seeing them in every other fight. Maybe they're just trying to practice it for the coming matches, because PMSL PUBG Mobile Super League is around the corner. Only 1 or 2 months left, and then we'll be seeing them in a real competition. So they are preparing for it. But talking about the competition, it's here in Lidoma Asia Showdown Season 4. $1,500 is the prize pool. So you gotta be careful. But I think JD has to be careful, really, because there's one player, there's a solo of champions who is so close. He can probably hear the breathing of Cyclone.
Yeah, if you hear a cyclone breathing down on you, you have to be worried, right? Because one, why? Two, no. You gotta run. Make sure that there's a lot of distance in between you and a potential push. But of course, you gotta defend it as well. So speaking of defensive, though, it is gonna be the players here from Bandit. We did see them drop initially up in towards that Rozhok region. It's very open, right? I like this little silence before the storm, before we really get down into
Absolutely
the grid of it, right?
Absolutely. Teams are trying to, on one side, there are some teams who went for the drop flashy, then on another, there are some teams that are like, no, we don't have to force ourselves to the fight. We will just try to stay alive, focus on the zone, play by the books. Classical Erangel rotation. There's this thing about Erangel. It gives you enough time to loot, rotate, try to, adapt according to the zone, stay more disciplined, find better spacing, calculate your risk, and then take them accordingly. So play by the edge of the zone most of the time. That's what the teams do. They try to go all in the first game, and then they realize, no, it doesn't work for them. They're like, okay, we have to play by the book. We have to play on the edges of the zone. We'll try to focus on getting chicken dinners, not elimination numbers. So, yeah, the pressure is high, but let's see who's gonna try and find a solution for it. Who's gonna try and find the chicken dinner in this match? Thoroughly Sports. I think one of those teams is trying to stay away from all the fights, trying to focus on the chicken dinner. We have Team Skyforce doing the same thing. DX and Vampire, let's not talk about them because they will prefer aggression. Halal Exitron also focusing on those chicken dinners and placing points. But this is the time where every team is going to try and go for the rotations, find the high ground, the positional advantage, find the position where the next circle can potentially go.
Well, there's always many options when it comes to where that zone could be taking our players. For now, things are nice and slightly peaceful still as we continue to get closer to the edge, or the end rather, of our very first stage here. But now, Hull Axatron are going to be feeling a little bit of the heat here as Razak is going to be the one to hone in the aggression. Coming through with a beautiful opener. Mad Cat has been dropped on down. If Halal Axatron is going to be looking to play for the rest of this match, they will rather have to double down on the aggression. Oh, good play there. 6-9 locking it in. Gaikor gets second right on down. Now, Razak, Difian, the two final contenders left to carry the torch here for Voin Donkey, but the pressure is up. And now, Halal Axatron, they want this, right? They want to make sure that they can get a successful rotation, or at least walk away with a few additional eliminations, whichever is going to be easier for them. Mad Cat now just being evacuated here, moving just to the side so they can get that res secured as we now are in with that second stage. So the zone has taken a little bit of a move, but still pretty much centered over on towards the eastern side. Ooh, 6-9. Very defensive angle. Not necessarily going to be looking to aggress, making sure that the team is ready to go. And then once the signal is given, I do think we might maybe even see 6-9 either backing off, or if 90 Degree has their way, they're going to be looking to push straight on forward. But they're going to have to be quick because there's more squads now starting to move up.
Absolutely, but they're not backing off. They're trying to commit, but on the back of it, there's Team T2K coming up against Bandit Esports. Some knocks are there going on there as well. But Wine Donkeys, they're trying to fall back. They know that this is not the position to be. The circle is not here. We're on the edges. And if we try to stay here, somebody who will be probably rotating from the close by, they will try to push all in. But look at the Lolix, the Tron coming from the backside over the player, was going for the wraparound. But Hitman was that player. This time around, coming from the backside. And what a cheeky angle. What a cheeky push by him. And look at this. It's going to leave Relic and the last player standing. the only hope for Wine Donkeys, which is not left anymore, because 6-9 is going to come in with a beautiful spray of M4, confirm another elimination number. They got 3 elimination points on team Wine Donkeys. The table toppers are now being challenged, and Halal Citron, the team who was so focused in the previous match, was trying to stray away from all the fights. This time around, they will start their match with a fight, and that fight, that too with the table topper. So this clearly tells about the intentions of Halal Citron. They are getting the momentum that they need, but this is the time for rotations. You gotta watch out every other rotation, because someone is gonna be there wherever you try to go. Someone's gonna be there trying to play in a split, or maybe trying to hold the best ground, the best area of that, the best position of that area. But talking about Team Champions Esports, another team who is trying to hold on and wait for the rotations. They will try to cut down the rotation, or any team who tries to move forward from here.
That's kind of just what you have to do, right? You can't let the opposition get the advantage. You got to keep that competition going. Now, Atomics looking to play for a little bit more of an elevated position, but it's not going to be an easy one to hold. A Cyclone comes pushing forward. Killer YT, though, and JD, the 2 major contributors with the aggression so far. Let's see whether or not Cyclone is going to look to kick up a bit of a storm. To keep a nice steady angle. The approach is there. Cyclone trying to just fend off the advances here, as Champions Esports now really want to send it into this position.
Absolutely, Champions Esports for now, they are focused on getting elimination numbers, but Bandit's gonna come in. This time around, they did not manage to have good elimination points in the start, so they will try to cut down rotations, and for now they have some beautiful compounds. They took one down and probably deciding to push. But on another side, it's Skyforce versus Saturday Sports, another fight between 2 dominators. And look at the map. I think there's another team close by, and that is... Okay, those are the players of Saturday Sports. I'm sorry. I'd like to take my words back. Skyforce is here. DX is also here. Yep, it's DX who is probably coming in for a third party. But Talent Sports, the realization hits in. It kicks in that this is not the right area to play. This is not the right area because the zone is not here. But in the back of it, Bandit versus Turca is going in. Ajaya gets taken down. Skyforce ICY takes on local. Centrier gets traded by Lamborghini. The fight is definitely going on here. Godless and ICY, last 2 men standing. They have to pull this miracle off, because DX is not going to be easy to deal with.
Yeah, DX, as we've seen already, a super aggressive team, but hey, Godless, relentless with
That's a
that
blunder.
with the S12K. So that is Levi down. Will we see a bit of a bounce back coming through here? It's now DX Xavier full sending
Whoa.
it. Godless just narrowly making it onto the edge. But now the pressure rides on the shoulders of Icy to see if they can get that res. DX Xavier goes down. A big helping hand coming through there from the players of Talon. And this will definitely buy Skyforce quite a bit of an opportunity, but it also means that they themselves can quite easily get rushed. Those 7 eliminations already secured here by them. And Laden, I think there's a good opportunity for Skyforce now to maybe get themselves a little bit of a breather here, right? There's a quick, cheeky opportunity for them to just sit back, regroup, and then re-strategize.
I mean, they have the opportunity because there's no other contention that they will have to face. No one is going to try to go outside the zone and try to eliminate them. So they got to find the best spot in this. My internet is not working the way it is supposed to. Yeah. So Champions Esports is coming in the fight. It's not your net, it's my. HLE versus Champion is going in after 2 knockouts. HLE is deciding to push.
All right, come on, here we go. Hello, Axatron looking to double down, looking to see if they can bag a few more of those treats. It is going to be Champions just trying to get themselves out of harm's way, but Hitman absolutely devastating. Look at this, Champion holding on with 2 players. It's going to be 66i on the edge here. The shot comes flying on through. Now Kino trying to become one with the wall, hoping that their invisibility cloak that they've got here is working sufficiently. Now, 6-9, just waiting on the edge, but I don't see this going all too well for Champions just yet. Kino could still maybe clutch it up, but it's not going to be an easy clutch to pull off.
Absolutely, he's the last man standing, or probably sitting. Can he pull this clutch? Can he pull this miracle off? On one side, the player was opening the door, and on another, it's Keen who was closing it. But the position was revealed once you close the door. 6-9, he opened the door for a reason, and you cannot do this. This was a stupid mistake.
He
You
said,
open the
"No,
door.
no, I'm not here." Go away.
Your opponent closes it. It gives away your position. It gives away your position. The opponent is gonna know that where you are. Okay, you close the door. You're definitely behind this. So halal exit on. They're getting 6th elimination number. I think this is some other halal exitron that we downloaded in this match, because that's not how they used to play. They used to play so passive, and now they're getting super aggressive. But talking about aggression, it's DRS eliminating another team, and look at their elimination number. It's getting up to 8. Highest elimination numbers in the lobby by DRS.
All right, a good bounce coming through here from them. 8 eliminations is going to sit quite pretty with them. Unfortunately, though, DRS is down to a solo, so that does complicate things a little slight bit. We'll see whether or not they can keep that stake going, at least for the time being. Skyforce also looking pretty good, coming through with those 7 elims so far. And Vampires and Tribe Eremacy yet to really bring in an aggressive contribution to this match, but of course there's still a long way to go, as we have still 8 teams remaining. Bandit as well as T2K sitting towards the lower end of those standings, but Bandit could definitely capitalize on a quick play, as they do have the players here from T2K right alongside them. So I think both these squads could maybe find each other. Now it's going to be Godless who will get wrapped up and shipped out. Down they go. Centaur. Good spray here, but will we have more of this play now from Skyforce as they look to find the opportunity? Instead, it's Icy. They'll get run right on down. Sunshir is going to be the hopeful up on the hill, hoping for a bit of an opportunity, maybe an angle down onto Vampires as the rest of the team now gets picked up. And here we go. Halal Axatron. Hey, good spray there. Shields. Very effortless hit coming through from the players here of Halal. 1 down. Can they find the rest of Talon, though?
Absolutely, halal exitron. They're trying to find every team who gets in their way, but in the meantime, the Dominators get dominated by AST. DRS, the team who is trying to eliminate everyone out there, they are eliminated, all because maybe an overaggression is what that team DRS was trying to pull off. But it's okay, it's all right. They've managed to get 8 elimination points, which is good for them to practice those elimination or those dominating gameplays. But talking about Vampire Sports, another team who is close by Pachinki, the circle is going to close in. They will probably be left behind. They will probably not be in the next zone. So they're gonna look for the other options inside the circle that will be available for them. Some collateral damage. Buggies are compromised. The vehicles, the tires are burst. So they gotta look for it as well. But the circle is not gonna move far away. It's gonna come close to them. So Vampire, they are happy. They don't need to do much. They just have to hold the ground. But what is this position by Kanto? This is the worst possible angle, worst possible position. You're out in the open, in a dip, where there's no cover.
Maybe there's a reason that we can't see just yet for them to move into that position. Rig has been spotted though. Down they go. Matt Cat also going to be feeling the heat there as Axel comes in swinging. Now Tribe Eremacy going to try and defend here as T2K look to get the ball rolling. Igneous already with 2 eliminations up. Will they be able to find more? Giante goes down. Rules OG coming through with a beautiful spray. Triggs also now going to be feeling that sting here as Masters now starts to apply themselves. Rigs on the Rules on the front line. Down they go. Quick, easy pickup here by Triggs. I'm not quite sure whether or not Masters is going to be able to get that play secured though. Gotta watch out for Delta. Also beautiful off angle. A nice showing coming through here from T2K, but unfortunately so far proving to be rather challenging.
Absolutely, T2K, they've lost one of the players. They gotta watch out. There's AST on one side and then there's another. I think Vampire Sports on another. So T2K, they need to focus on the rotation, get inside the zone, find a hard cover for yourself. But look at this. Bandit Sports also comes in. The third team on T2K. This time around a knockdown was delivered. Delta finds Masters early and eliminates him. That's what we were talking about. This is not a good position for T2K to hold. And look at Vampire Esports. They're also charged again. T2K is getting sandwiched out in the open alongside Team Driver Messi, because Vampire, they will not just take T2K down. They will also confirm elimination numbers on Driver Messi. And now, I guess Ignis is the last man standing. One more spray, and the hopes of T2K's comebacks will be over. And Meow this time comes around from a different angle and says meow and eliminates the opponent player. But well, that's not the way he did it. But I guess yeah, he did it. Vampire Sports on the charge, on the domination side. 5 elimination numbers to the tally. They are looking more aggressive than ever. But now they only have 3 challenges left. 3 challengers who they have to eliminate and secure the chicken dinner. Maybe after this match, if they manage to get 10 elimination points in chicken dinner, they can be in the top 2 spots. Because Vampire, they already had some good matches yesterday. The first match was also decent for them, but after this aggression, after this domination, they can definitely be in the top 3.
Yeah, they definitely could look to get that one secured. But they're still going to have to be a long way to go, as we have 4 squads with pretty strong numbers coming into this match. So there's no clear indication as to who will be the one to finish up at the top. For Bandit, this is good. It's just the kind of pacing that you want to bring in. I mean, the point situation is still very, very close. So one strong jump could definitely land them quite well onto that first page. Now it's going to be Yoda Johan looking to fall back. Just trying to double that effort that they have pushing through. Halal Axotron, they have a long way to go to get back into zone. Hitman is going to be the last one to try and carry their torch moving forward here. But again, a very tough spot to be in. Now Hitman has no other option. They need to try and see, can they get their teammate back in the fight? And after doing so, will there be a world in where they can get themselves securely rotated back into the safety of this coming zone? Because again, their options are slowly starting to run out. The odds stacked against them. Oh, there we go. The res has been secured, but now the pressure is still going to be riding high. Talon, Vampire, both squads here just trying to secure the zone, trying to lock it down and ensure that there's no major surprises coming their way.
Absolutely, Talon Sports is also trying to stay away from the harm. They're trying to just trying to make sure that the zone takes a shift, and then they will go all in, or maybe wait for the other teams to eliminate themselves. Wait for the other teams to fight with each other, because that's the entire plan of Talon Sports. They did not have a good match. If you talk about the first match, and even the last games of yesterday were not good games from Talon, and that's the entire plan of Talon Sports. They wait for the other teams to fight, and then they capitalize on any situation, on any possibility that's given to them. But once again, Akal is trying to get all the information. The vehicles are being used to get the information on their opponents. There's no one who's close by. Once again, the spray comes in. Now they know that Vampire is so close, and they have to get ready for a fight, because Vampire, if they manage to take one down, if they manage to get one knockout, they will charge in. So you gotta be careful. You gotta stay in the hard cover. Vehicles are not that good when you talk about the cover. Sitting in a vehicle is not a good idea. But Vampire, they have to deal with 2 teams on 2 different sides. They have the circle control. Look at the map. It's a complete circle in the favor of Vampire Sports. Yes, Team Talon Sports also have some good play area, but Vampire, they will probably be forced to fight with Team Halal Exitron. And Halal, the way they are playing, 7 elimination numbers to the name. It seems like they are also here to dominate. Now that we have two players standing, Decree alongside Hitman. Hitman has 3 elimination numbers in the back. He's gonna try and get it to 5 or maybe 6 or 7. But Vampire, are they gonna allow him to do that? He's looking for the MVP slot, but it's not gonna be easy. Vampire, they have all 4 players and they have 7 elimination numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good here for them, right? 7 elims is definitely not a bad match, but are they going to be able to make it more? 2 squads, in fact, going to be sitting on 7. right? Vampire Esports as well as Halal Axatron. Halal trying to still get themselves into contention here. That two-piece is going to make it increasingly more challenging for them to have a smooth transition moving into this next bit here. But Lazarus looking to mobilize, looking for the opportunities, the angles to try and leverage. Centaur and the rest of the crew keeping it nice and quiet. Mueller not going to be milking those elims just yet. They were finding quite a few plays in the earlier stages. But here we have it now. A call riding up. Again, a lot of movement coming through. Everybody trying to see where is there going to be that next best position to try here. Lazarus cooking up the nade. Lets it out. I'm curious whether or not Halal Axatron are going to try and maybe rush. Are they just going to keep themselves on the edge here? Because as we can see, they have to move forward. But Vampires, as well as Talon, not going to allow the one to come through. So if Halal wants to get themselves into that zone, it's going to require quite a bit of that determination, right? They will have to get aggressive and at least try and alleviate the immediate pressure being applied by Vampires.
Absolutely, but look at Halal Axatron. They're holding their nerves because they can feel the pressure. The pressure is real. One knock, and that might be just the last time you breathe in the lobby. And it could open the door for the chicken dinner if it's Vampire Sports who knocks the player of Talon Sports. But they gotta wait. Situation is still a 2v3v4. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's trying to hold their nerves. The discipline is commendable, but Talon Sports, slowly and steadily, they're trying to move forward. The circle is going away from them. Every other circle is challenging for them, but do they have any idea that Meola is here? They're going for a hunt. They're going all in. It's a full charge by Talon Sports, and they will find one player, and they will equalize the situation. But look at Yoru Johan. Look at him. His position is so brilliant. He can definitely surprise a Vampire from an off angle.
Ooh, what's Cento doing though? Standing out in the open and enjoying the sunlight. That's not what you do when you're coming into the last few phases. You got to keep that angle tight. Make sure that you can clutch it up and focus on the opponents. Unfortunate play against the side there of Vampire, but let's see. Maybe this could be Talon now looking to rush on as they are going up against only two of the Vampires ahead of them. The knock is in, and that's going to be added, looking to just ride it out. Halal still having to move up. That blue is going to nip at their heels, and this is not the kind of finish that Halal want to try and end on. They have the numbers now, but can they turn the tables here? It's going to be a pretty tough angle. Vampire now getting caught in a rather uncomfortable sandwich. 90 degree. Down they go. Halal starting to feel the pressure. Hitman trying to rotate back, pick up their teammate, and bring them back into the fight. This is where Vampire Esports can have a bit of a breather as the focus has been placed over onto the players there from Halal. But Talon are moving up. Adder is going to start running out of time, running out of HP. The pressure is in there. A cool getting hit though. Was that a self-nade? Bringing the player down on such low HP. It didn't quite see Adder knocking in those hits, but the spray is there, and that's going to be it. Axel wraps it up. Now, it's going to be Talon now also stepping up to the 7 eliminations, but it's an even board. It's a 2v2 rather, as we've got Hitman and 90 degree going up against Yoru as well as Axel. Any team up for this winner chicken dinner?
Absolutely. Some heroic gameplays are needed from Asia League's side. It's a 2v2 situation. Yes, there is an advantage to team Southern Sports side because they had the map control, but look at this. They utilized it to the maximum. 90 degree is knocked out, and now Hitman, the last man standing. Can he clutch it off? Can he do it? This is needed, a much needed performance from Team Alexitron side, but look at Talon Sports. The grenades are coming. The grenades are flying and landing on Hitman. He is damaged. His position is compromised. Once again, Yoru Johan is going to come in with the last beautiful grenade, and this is Team Talon Sports getting the chicken dinner and beautifully summing up this match. And it was so beautiful. They just charged and went all in, got the chicken dinner in their style. And, you know, the way they eliminated Vampire Sports, that was commendable. It all came down to the timing and the teamwork, and they just nailed it.
Yep, they absolutely did. So a very, very good strategy coming through there from the side of Talon. I mean, it's no surprise to see them already situated quite well on those standings, right? Also not their first chicken dinner right here in the last chance. And maybe not even their last, but well done. What a performance. Of course, this could now very well cement their position at the top of the overall, at least post match number 8. So, yeah, a lot of excitement here across the board. A very contentious play coming into that final stretch of the match. And of course, Talon will keep that torch pretty high. As we can see, Yoru Johan coming through as our MVP, picking up 5 eliminations and 1,000 damage alongside that.
Absolutely, Johan. What a beautiful show of skills by him. Although Talon Sports, they did not manage to get so many elimination numbers, but yeah, they managed to get 7 or 8 probably. Johan is the MVP because he had the biggest share in those elimination points. 5 eliminations to the name, 1,006 damage as you mentioned, and 20 minutes survival time. That's the stat that you look for. Some brilliant stats out there. Hitman was also trying to be here. He was also trying to be the MVP, but it was Team Talon Sports and specifically Johan with coming up with a beautiful grenade and shutting down the entire team of Team Halal Exitron. But moving onwards, it's 19 points by Talon on the points table. Halal Exitron coming up with 13, Vampire with 13. Another good match by Vampire Sports.
Yeah, definitely a very, very good play here. 13 points is going to go a long, long way. But I think you also got to give credit to Halal Exitron, right? I mean, we did see 2 chickens from them already, and again coming through with that consistency. So they are definitely here to contest the top slots, right? They want to ensure that they stay in the top 9 and not only just make it into the top 9. So I love this change up from their side. And of course, as we look down to the rest, DRS also not having a bad run here, coming through with those 9 overall points is going to look quite comfortable. But now T2K also been able to bag a few more additional points along the way as Skyforce also comes through with 8. Then we look over onto the other side, right? D Xavier, Voin Donkey, 4YLC, nothing to show for this match, right? They tried. They were hoping to get a little bit of something, but unfortunately the lobby just denied them all of that.
Absolutely, but talking about some more teams in the points tables, Voin Donkeys, they lost their early on fight for LC, suffered the same fate. Vikings, they did not manage to get good points, but moving onwards, the points table is here, and Talon Sports is gonna still be on the first spot because they will. Okay, were they on the second spot previously? Because now we can see +1 on the left side. Vampire Sports will be on the second. They jumped beautifully. Okay, Voin Donkeys was here, and now they're on the fourth spot. Look at the points difference between Voin Donkeys and Talon Sports. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean Voin Donkey, right? If you don't keep the pressure up, it's going to be tough to sit at the top, right? That's kind of what you need to bring to the table. You're going to have to dial up the heat if you want to sit by the fire. So let's see whether or not Voin Donkey is going to look to bounce back soon. DRS and Skyforce also making some beautiful upwards moves here. Tribarabacy stepping up into that 8th position. D Xavier getting relegated as a result of that. Vikings also having a little bit of a downward movement coming through here. But this just shows how contentious this lobby is, right? Anything can quite easily change. And not even the teams sitting at the lower end of this first page are going to be safe themselves, right? As we take a look at the second page, will be coming up right now, we'll see exactly where the other squads find themselves, right? What that 10th to 18th position looks like. Because I think it's going to be a very nerve-wracking last few matches that we will have here.
Absolutely, points table tells you everything because the comebacks were there, inevitable comebacks were there. Vikings Sports, they managed to be on the top spots, but now they are one bad match and they jumped from 4th spot to, in fact, 3rd spot to 7th spot. So you gotta watch out. Look at the points table. Look at the points difference between these teams: 57, 54, 59, 53, and 50. You can see 4 to 5 teams on 50 numbers marker, and then we have 2 teams on 47. Just look at this: 47 points. 2 teams are on it. Triber Messi, 1 points difference to Team Dingo's Xavier's. Yes, Dingo's are working on the placement points, but they gotta work on their eliminations and get some great placement points. If they get a chicken there, only then they will be able to contest the top teams. Moving on to the second page, T2K finding that momentum, getting those aggression, getting those elimination points. But it's the late game that they're struggling. T2K struggles in the late game where they have to make the zone, stay alive, keeping all your players alive, and try and go for those fights, and alongside those fights try and make the best position inside the circle. That's where this team struggles.
Well, I mean, they're struggling to the top, right? They're slowly climbing up. They have 40 points already, so it doesn't seem like they're struggling all that much. Yes, they started off the day with not too many points to their name, and they were all the way towards that 14th position. Now they've already been able to climb just 3 ranks in this last match. So if they keep struggling the way that they've been struggling so far today, they might find themselves up in the top 9 soon enough. So yeah, not the worst kind of struggling that you could have, but definitely not the ideal approach to take here. And so, as I said, getting entry into the top 9 is going to be still quite doable here. And I think that extends all the way to RRQ even, right? Looking to kind of keep that pressure up. And essentially just comes down to when these teams decide to do it, right? If they decide this is the match in which we are just going to start to pop off, they can definitely pull off these moves. I mean, we did see that being pretty evident for Halal Axatron, right? They were quiet for a long time, and then they went, yeah, let's go for it. And then, boom, here they were, right?
Well, the worst thing, I'm so sorry, but the worst thing is that the bottom three teams are not joining. But now that we have our 2 matches gone, the 3 match is still there. From careful rotation to domination, that is Halal Exitron for you. But quick break is coming up. Don't go anywhere. More PUBG Mobile action is on the way.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready to move straight into it. Of course, first rondo done. Well, the only rondo for the day done and dusted. First Aaron Gale done as well. And now we're going to get ourselves ready to see what the match number 3 will have. That's also going to mark the halfway point of the day, right? So once this match is concluded, there's only one more Aaron Gale to go before we head into the final 2 Murmurs. So whatever the teams want to accomplish at this point, they're going to have to bring everything. They can't hold back whatsoever if they want to make sure that they make it into the top 9. And of course, this is now that opportunity for essentially still everybody all the way from 10th to 15th place to make a strong attempt at that, right? To bring all the aggression that they've been showing in the previous days of gameplay. So I don't quite know who will be our guaranteed top 9. I do think, however, that Talon, I think they're safe, right? I don't really see too much of an issue there for them, especially looking at the fact that they are 9 points ahead of second place.
Absolutely. When, 2 matches are over, for all the teams who want to make a comeback, this has to be their match, because now that we are getting close to our last match, the chances are getting over for you. So you got to work right now, right here. Talking about the teams that needs a lot of work, it's going to be Team Bandit Sports, 4YLC, Nextory, RRQ, Regicide, because these teams are struggling on the points table. And well, it's time to move on towards our next match. It's going to be played on the map of Erangel, and then we'll see our last Erangel, and then we'll have 2 more Myanmar. So, I mean, it's a long, long day, but if you don't make a comeback right now, right here, it's going to be late. It's going to be over. But R3G, they're back. They missed their previous 3 matches. It was not good for them. They are on the bottom of the points table. I think it's high time that they make a comeback. They need a chicken dinner. If they get a chicken dinner, top 9 spot is on 47. They're on 27. They get 20 points. They will jump right back into the top 9.
Yeah, 141 is also here, as we can see them making their way on down. So it's good to see a fuller lobby coming to this match here. As we know, time is slowly running out. And of course, now we've got 17 teams in this lobby. I mean, 141 and Regicide, they could definitely still do something. But if they want to pull it off, they're going to have to work really, really hard to accomplish that.
Absolutely, but I can see that Team Bandit is still fighting. I mean, they are coming up against AST in a drop clash once again. This is not the first, but probably the 10th match out of 9 where we're seeing Bandit Sports coming in a drop clash, because every time when there's an early fight, Bandit will be there either on the receiving side or the giving side. But yep, some knockdowns are being received by Team AST, and elimination points are being confirmed by Team Bandit. So it's not looking good for Team AST. But here comes another fight for YLC versus Team Skyforce. All on the Novopener side, I believe. Century is right in front of Punk, and he's waiting for any mistake that Century will probably try to make. But Punk, you cannot clutch it off with a pistol. You gotta find a better weapon.
Let's see whether or not Punk is going to be feeling a little bit emboldened here. Will they get that play? Will they clutch it up? The only time will tell. But Zoro there to provide a little bit of a helping hand. Riley, though, going to send it up into Fearless.
Whoa.
Fearless is blinded. Can't see a single thing, but that's not going to be enough to stop Fearless, because Godless is also pretty low on the HP. So either play here could still maybe look to clutch it out. A cheeky strategy to get up to the top. Oh, there we have it. Fearless getting taken down as Godless and Riley double down with the efforts. Now, it's going to be OILC holding on to a 2-piece from what we can see there. It's Punk and Zoro looking to find a way to survive this, because Sunshine and Icy are also going to keep that front line very, very tough.
Absolutely. The momentum is everything in PUBG Mobile, and we are seeing that Team Skyforce is getting their momentum. And right now, right here, they need to clutch this off. It's a 2v4 situation, not very difficult for this team. If they can get 2 elimination points, when situation was a 4v4, they can definitely get 2 more. They gotta watch out. You cannot lose any other player. Team 4YLC, if you want to win this fight, this is your call. But wait a second, Sanchir says no more, and as he knocks one down, he finds another. Some Bullets were delivered. The player is on low HP, and now Zoro loses his confidence. He has no hope of survival because from two different angles, two players are coming in. And now Senchi, look at him. He is coming with a machete in his hand. And I think it's over. It's done and dusted for the last man standing of OYLC, and a beautiful clutch by Godless and the entire team of Skyforce. Nova Benoit is now for Skyforce has no weapon now for themselves. I mean, there's no other team for the contention, and another message sent to 4YLC that you cannot come here, you cannot fight with us.
Yeah, they've laid their claim. They said this is theirs. Nobody's gonna contest it. But now, of course, hello, Axatron gonna have to contest a little bit more as all champions go down. The elimination is in. Halal Axatron really stepping up the overall play here today. Gotta love it for them. I mean, that is, look at them, right up in second place. Now it's stepping into the 60+ point mark here. RRQ, though, finding themselves in a little bit of a challenging position as DRS has found them, making the necessary connections. Lapar is down. And this is quite a troubling play now for RRQ. Yes, they still have 3 players up. But are they going to look to respond to this? Will they allow Cyclone to continue with this insanity? Or maybe will they put an end to it? The RS, though, very widespread. I mean, I've seen a 1-1-1-1-1 split before, but goodness gracious, this is a very widespread. It's like they've each gone for separate points on the map.
I mean, I don't know what's the plan behind this. Maybe they want to have maximum map control, or maybe they just want to have maximum loot. In any other case, the split can come in handy, but it can also be very risky. But I think DRS, they are holding on. They are trying to stay away from the problem. But look at the kill feed. Talon Sports versus AST. AST, they already lost 2 players in the early on fight, but seems like Talon Sports is not going to waste any time. They're going to go all in. And Zeol, is this Zeol? Yeah, Akul will confirm the last 2 players, and here comes another elimination. But they lost Yorugyuhin in the process. I believe they had no clue when they came to these compounds that there are two players surviving, a duo here. That's the reason why they managed to confirm 1 elimination point in Talon. Now they are left with the last 3 players. But it's okay, it's all right. You managed to go 3 elimination points, and you are on the first spot. You already have a good lead.
Well, and that lead is something that they want to try and hold on to. But of course, will they be allowed to do that? As it's now going to be D Xavier rolling up with the monster drop. This could be the upset, but this could still turn either which way. I mean, it is going to be a somewhat chaotic approach now to play through Talon. Also feeling that sting, feeling the angles. Now D Xavier, Levi again getting taken down really early. Levi, every time for being the victim, not being able to do anything, at least has been able to contribute 1 elimination. But now the Doc are looking to close it up. They don't want this to continue. They'll have to end it. And oh, look at that. Jump shots coming in clutch.
Absolutely mayhem, absolute chaos is there. But DX, what a play by them. And Tolkul, the way he managed to take 1 player down, you know, in the compound fight when we saw the opponent was cooking a grenade, and he knew that he's gonna peek. He knew that he's gonna peek with the grenade and try to throw it. That's when Tolkul, he connected the beautiful headshot, and he managed to escape from the grenade as well. I mean, that's some amazing I'm sure show skills out there. But wait a second, DRS versus RRQ. The endorsement is there, and RRQ is just committing. They're just going all in. They found 1 player. The split is not gonna come in handy because you're just giving a 1v3 to RRQ. They're just picking the players 1 by 1.
Well, I mean, at least it's not 1-4-1, right? So
yeah,
it's good that it's only RRQ and DRS finding themselves in this altercation. 1-for-1 though, we can see there in the red, in the blue. They might head into the red if they sip too much of that blue juice. But 1 elimination to their name. Let's see whether or not they can clutch it out. For the time being though, RRQ and DRS up in Malta. Ooh, the long arm here of RRQ is coming through. Killer YT has to get off that roof if they want to stay in this fight. But I'm happy to see that DRS has been able to kind of condense that very wide split that we saw coming through from them. It's now resulted in a glorious 2v2 approach here. But is it going to be enough? Will they get the jump in on RRQ? Because, I mean, RRQ also not necessarily playing the same level of gameplay that I'm accustomed to see from them. Maybe that was just a strategy that they were going for. RRQ, they have that one elimination. The same can be said here for DRS. But will this now be the turning point? As example, cooks up the nade, but is going to receive a molly in exchange for that. Not being allowed to send it out, but a quick, beautiful nade. Just cooking that to perfection. The chef has stepped into the kitchen. Is example going to be able to clutch this one out? A very quick bit of parkour coming through here. As DRS starts to fly all over the place. But example gets doubled down on, and up they go. Cyclone and Killer YT now having to come in and try and save the day.
Absolutely. Some brilliant grenades were used from both the sides. On one side, it was example with the beautiful grenade elimination, and on another, it was RRQ. Not an elimination. It was a knocked out. But yeah, RRQ once again coming in, confirming another elimination point. Seems like they're just eliminating the players one by one. They're just clearing DRS one by one. Or maybe DRS, their split is the reason why they're suffering. But RRQ, they shifted their focus from getting elimination points to moving inside the zone. And that is something that DRS is not going to believe. But wait a second, Cyclone once again coming all in with a beautiful knocked out. But you know, they have the ridge where they can play. DRS, if they try to move forward, they don't have the kits available. They don't have the heals. Look at Cyclone. He has one bandage.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, it's all good and fun fighting out in the blue, but you're going to have the meds for that, right? And either that or hope that your opponents had the meds to try and kind of just back it up so you can rotate out. Nexary, though, up on the Pachinki Hills here as they're going to be looking down on the Vikings. Let's see whether or not they will get those sprays. It's going to be Wound now starting to push out, getting a little bit more strategic with the push here. But, I mean, going from strategic to aggressive as the Vikings now look to double down. Superman flies on in, takes down Apex. The clutch is up there. G is down. Luck is down. This could be Nexary now finding themselves in a very tough position. Demo, the last one left to see if they can respond to the pure aggression coming through from Viking.
Absolutely. Look at the situation. It's Demo OG left alone once again to pull this miracle off, to pull this clutch off. It's Vikings versus Demo OG. But a 1v1 show. Who's going to clutch it all? Is it going to be Demo OG or is it going to be someone else? But look at Vanity Sports. They're coming for a third party, and Puzzle will find one player. He is going to shut him down. It's not looking good for Nexary, but it is looking worse for Team Vikings. But Nexary, they'll revive the teammate, and Puzzle is falling back. Wow. He came all the way to this hill to eliminate one team who was on a better position up against Nexary, and Nexary will revive their teammates. I mean, Bandit Sports, they just helped Nexary. They became the angels for them, maybe the life saviors for them. But now that both the teams are coming up against each other, imagine if Nexary eliminate Bandit from here. The team who saved them. The team who saved them will probably be getting eliminated from their own, I don't know.
That's how you thank them.
But yeah.
That's how you thank them, right? The team comes up, they save the day, and then you go like, oh, thank you so much, but go back to the lobby. Right? A very, very grateful team indeed. But now, Skyforce, Godless going to be feeling a little bit of the heat here as Hello Axotron comes in hot, but a quick response from the rest of Skyforce as Suncheer comes through, looking to wear the cape as they do. Now, this is Hello Axotron finding themselves in quite a bit of a predicament. Hitman now in a very uncomfortable sandwich, trying to just dip away, but unfortunately down they go as Vampire is right here looking to capitalize on the opportunity. But Vampire Esports now needs to be very careful because Skyforce, they've heard these engagements, but it doesn't seem like they are too committed to pushing up here just yet. Instead, They want to get themselves patched up and go to the position that they were hoping to rotate towards.
Absolutely, Vampire Sports, they need to take this fight. They need to take control. They need points because if they want to be on the first spot, they need to be aggressive. They cannot wait for the zone. Although the zone is going to close in a few seconds, Vampire Sports are already left with the last two players. Kanto and Lazarus are the last two players. Previous match was a great game from them, but now in this match, they lost their players early on. So, I mean, they should be looking for some decent gameplays after this match because they cannot go for early on fights. They're losing it. Previous match, they avoided all the early on aggression and they managed to get 10 elimination points in the later game. They're coming up against Skyforce. On one side, it's 3 players of Skyforce, and on another, it's a Vampire Sports with the 2 players. But the circle is going to go. The zone is going to go. It's really close to them, but yes, they need to rotate. 2 players of Skyforce are already there. Godless is placed on a beautiful position. They are trying to take that map control. On the back of it is Next Three, who's also trying to push here. So Godless, he needs to regroup with his teammates. What are you doing here? This is the open area where you can be spotted anytime, either by Nexury or either by Vampire Sports. And look at this, Mela coming all in with a beautiful spray. Godless now he will probably decide to fall back, and the players are coming in to help him. I think the vehicle was compromised. That's why Godless was not staying here, or that's why he was not falling back. But wait a second, RQ is gonna come in to surprise the players of Skyforce, and now Skyforce is also down to the last 2 players.
Let's see whether or not Skyforce can come in clutch here. 7 eliminations is what they have to show so far for this match, and a really good statement to be making. But now, the Xavier going to be getting ready to get cooking yet again. T2K, they've also found themselves 2 elims, just trying to kind of ride this ridge. We do see 2504 also hitting in with the shots there. Is that 25 April? Is that what it means? 2504? Who knows? We'll one day eventually find out. We see Difian also locking it into Rashan. Down goes Rashan. R3G joining us in this match, but so far having a little bit of a tough run as the teams have already been able to build up quite a bit of momentum here. Now, Bandit going to be locked down on towards the northern edge of zone. Good point to try and leverage against the rest of the crews around them, but beautiful sprays now flying across the way. R3G also got to be very careful as to how they rotate out of that compound. Now, look at this. 1-for-1 feeling the heat as well. T2K has found their next position to take occupancy of. Will Puzzle be able to piece this one together? Ooh, gotta watch out for Razak. Razak just reaching in over that ridge. Fortunately for Bandit, not necessarily landing the hits.
Absolutely, but the pressure is definitely going to be on Team R3G. They're trying to rotate from the mids of 3 to 4 teams, and look at this. R3G, Regicide is going to get eliminated without getting a single point in the only match that they joined. This is not looking good, but Wine Donkeys, they're also going to fail. They're also going to face the pressure because T2K is coming in the situation. But T2K versus 1-for-1 is going on. Look at this, T2K. The endorsement was there. 1-for-1 came in with an absolute chaos. They were just trying to breach those compounds, but T2K, they managed to get 3 elimination points. To be honest, the last one standing. Look at the domination by T2K. 5 elimination points to the name. And now they're trying to spot down Zabian. On the back of it, Wine Donkeys, they heard all the gunshots. And they're also trying to come here. So, T2K, they gotta watch out. If 1 or 2 players get knocked out by Zabian, Wine Donkeys will charge in. And it will be a beautiful third party by them. You don't want to do that. The circle is closing in. There's no one for the backstab. But if you allow Wine Donkeys to push on you, things will not look good for you. But once again, T2K trying to spot down Zabian on one side, and on another, they're trying to spot the position of Wine Donkeys. Information is definitely there that there's a third team was ready for a third party. Potato will spot 1 player, I guess. But Wine Donkeys gets third partied.
Oh, yep. Those third parties, you got to watch out for them. Not too favorable at this point. But here we go. Igneous waiting for the opportunity here against Zibian. Are they going to be able to get it in though? Bandit also coming through with quite a bit of a response. Point Donkey not going to be backing down just yet. Both squads also still very contentious, but a beautiful 2-2 push onto the angle here as 1-for-1 gets wrapped up and off they go. Now we are down to the final 6 teams. Voin Donkey also getting swept under the rug. So that is going to be Bandit looking to capitalize as they've now find themselves 9 eliminations, but they've got quite a few wounds. They need to get themselves patched up, and D2K going to be looking to just ride on this, as Vans is going to be the player looking to make this magic happen here. But Ten Sky and Hokia just frantically trying to get themselves back into the fight. Of course, they've now made the collective decision to prioritize that zone positioning, but T2K going to try and just gatekeep that entry now.
Absolutely. Look at the elimination numbers of Team Bandit. They have 9 to the name, and 15 players are still alive. But I mean, this could have been their great match, but it's okay. It's all right. They got eliminated. They managed to get 9 points, which is also a good number. Some teams will probably get it after getting maybe into the top 3. So yeah, this was supposed to be the biggest comeback match for Bandit, but they lost their players to the zone, and T2K, what a gatekeep by them. Now that we're down to the 5 teams, 14 players left standing, it's Vampire versus Skyforce on one side. They're coming up against each other. It's a 2v2 situation. This duo is fighting with another duo. The grenades are coming in back and forth, and Meola will be left with lost HP, but where comes another beautiful grenade by Meola. Riley gets taken down. Now that Team Vampire realize that they have knocked one, will they try to charge in? Sinchir is the last man standing. He needs to revive Riley, and alongside it, he gotta watch out for all those grenades because they are just flying and landing. Vampire Sports have decided to push forward. Sinchir versus Vampire Sports. It's a 1v2. You gotta clutch it. Grenades are coming in, and what a beautiful grenade once again by Meola. It's a 1v2 by him. He will get both the elimination points in his backpack. But once again, the zone is gonna come in, and somebody else from the eastern or western side will also try to move or breach these compounds. It's TX who will probably try to slam in, or maybe it will be T2K because T2K is on a hunt.
Well, let's see whether or not this hunt will work out for them. Love this approach here from T2K. 9 eliminations. That is going to really help them capitalize and solidify their positioning here. As we did see a little bit of a slower start from their end, but so far things are looking pretty good for them. They were, of course, in 10th position. 40 points coming into this match. Now with 9 eliminations up and placement points, that is definitely going to look to change.
Whoa.
Vampire had just narrowly managing to get onto that vehicle, but the pressure is going to continue to build. Apex up in the Wizard Tower, keeping a nice little steady position here. They try and survive as best they can, trying to play for strong placement points now for the side of Nextory. Meanwhile, Vampire Esports still having to commit fully to that zone. Igneous is going to be found out. Down they go. This could be the turning point. DX Xavier could stand between T2K and a double-digit finish here. Are they going to be able to secure those eliminations? Rules OG, cheeky nade out the side. Up comes the push. Got to watch out for that quick sneak approach as Levi full sends it. But AJ or Ajaya, though, nice bit of overwatch, keeping the angles pretty locked down. Oh, there we have it. A 2v3 showdown coming in over on the eastern side of the zone. Oh, the nade!
Absolutely beautiful grenades are coming in. Rules OG, he managed to stay alive from some inches, we can say from some pixels. But once again, the barnhouse control is with T2K, but the grenades are coming in, flying but not connecting. Levi's is trying to throw all the barrage of grenades, but none of them is connecting. But one by one, they're clearing the compound. They're clearing all the angles. Trolls OG trying to capitalize on this situation. It's a 2v3. But Levi's, now you know that there's someone on top. Grenades are gonna go on both the sides, but Rolls OG will connect. You give him an opportunity, he will turn you into a reel. And once again, look at this, a Molotov is gonna come, and the confirmation is gonna be there. But Ajaya, he got spotted, he got eliminated. It's a 1v3 now, probably a 1v2. But look at Rolls OG, he's gonna go all in with a beautiful grenade. He finds the entry, he finds the pixel, he finds the player, leaves him on the low HP. Once again, charges and confirms one knocked out an elimination point. But in the meantime, Dokal comes for the rescue, and he's gonna manage to, stay alive with one more player in this fight. But Rolls OG, is he the Ideal or the Fragger? He dismantled one of the player, but he was about to clutch. All he needed was support from his teammate, but that was not there. Rolls OG will leave DX on one player, but now it's a 2v2 situation. On one side, it's DX. On another, it's Vampire Sports.
And the final showdown is about to find its way onto the screen right now. Of course, there's going to be Xavier trying to lock down that eastern front. Vampires, though, are going to try and stop them even before they can do anything. Both squads looking pretty good here, pretty confident. 2v2 showdown, 6 eliminations for the side of Vampires, 4 coming through for the side, or rather 6 for Xavier, 4 for the Vampires. Unless, of course, Vampires can get this chicken dinner, that's the only way that they are going to be able to secure themselves those 6 eliminations. But let's see how this one is going to unfold, as Vampire look to be holding a decent position, but we are yet to see where the next zone is going to be taking us. If it plays in favor of Vampire, this could potentially be their ticket for that winner-winner chicken dinner, but it's going to be a very tough one to secure.
Absolutely. It's a 2v2. Both the sides are low on resources, but high on nerves. Any peak could be the next, could be the last peak. Any next peak could be the last peak. Nobody's making a move, but DX, they are trying to get their ways inside the zone. The vehicle play is going to come, and Dokal is trying to move from the northwestern side. Is Vampire going to allow them? Although Miola, his position is compromised. That's not a good position to hold on. He's going to spot Dokal, but Dokal will find his way inside the zone. How did you allow him? He's not inside the zone. In fact, he went outside the zone. DX, look at Levi's. He is inside the zone. He has compounds. Why would you do that? Dokal is trying to find the elevation, but this can be a blunder. This can be a mistake. And look at Vampire. They're charging on that one player. Are they going to push right into this trap? Is this a trap? Versus Dokal. Look at this beautiful grenade by Dur. And Dokal will be, surviving with this grenade with the last few HPs. Once again, the other player is going to spot, Dingoes. This was a blunder by them. The zone is going to charge in. It's a 1v1 on this end. From where DX Dokal, his position is compromised. Grenade is going to come in. He's going to be left with the last few bullets. But once again, Levi's, now he's left with the 1v2. Miola versus a team, a DX, one player. It's a 1v2. That was a blunder by DX. And they got punished for it.
Yeah, not quite sure why Dokal decided to push all the way out into the blue, but this could still now work in favor of Vampire Esports. I was definitely pretty convinced that Mueller was not going to be able to make it out of that position, right? Looking at where Levi's was positioned against them. But now, teams are going to be looking to ride it out, and there we have it. The first winner chicken dinner right here in the last chance is going to go straight over to the side of Vampires. That is their first victory. It also could have been that opportunity for Xavier to pick up their first winner chicken dinner, but this is now Vampire Esports putting up quite a bit of a statement against the top of the standings. They were already up in second place at the start of this game. Now, is that going to push them all the way into pole position? Of course, it's going to rely quite heavily on the points that Talon were able to secure in this game. But again, a very exciting Erangel making its way through here.
Absolutely. Vampire Sports, what a jump by them in the points table. Let's see if they get into the top 3. And side by side, let's see where DX is. Okay, I said it, DK. For the first time. But moving onwards, let's see what the points table is going to tell. What's the overall standing is going to tell us. Dingoes, where are they placing themselves after this game? And where is Vampire going to go? Talking about some elimination numbers, heavy elimination number gameplay, it was Team Bandit with 9 eliminations. It was Team DRX who were trying to get some early on aggression, some early on elimination point. But what is going to be their position on the points table? You have to find it out. But I think it was an interesting fight where Dokal made a huge mistake. That was not a mistake, it was a blunder by him. Why would you leave the zone, go out of the zone, and still, like, you knew you could see those compounds that they are not inside the zone, yet you were doing it. Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's a tough one to answer, right? I mean, we don't quite know what the strategy or the plan was on that end, but sometimes you got to try some different approaches. You got to try some exciting moves. Speaking about exciting, though, our MVP is going to be Mueller, just milking those elims, but unfortunately not milking as much damage. Only 522. So it shows you all those hits coming through from Mueller was definitely just trying to clean up all the damage that had been caused by other players. Either which way, still a great opportunity to try and capitalize on securing those points for their squad. And Vampires are going to be quite happy with the overall performance that they've been able to secure here.
All 6 elimination numbers, which is a big number, but as you were talking about the damage, it's not quite there. But I think as long as it works in terms of eliminations, you don't need to have more damage. But moving onwards, Vampires pool, 16 eliminations. What a win by them! What a match by them! They did not manage to secure, they managed to secure the chicken dinner, but they did not manage to secure more elimination numbers. As you can see, T2K, who got eliminated on the 3rd spot, they're quite there with 14 total points. I mean, T2K is also finding their momentum as we're moving towards the Miramars. I think one more good match, and then they will probably end the day into the top 3 after those Miramar matches as well. But moving onwards, it's Dingoes coming up with 12 points and working on their placement. They managed to get 6 placement points in this match. This is the same placement point that they got in total 12 matches in the previous stage. So we can say that Dingoes are realizing that what was their mistake in the previous stage.
Yeah, but it's good to see those improvements come through. Of course, our top 6 teams all capitalizing on double digits coming through at the back of this match. But if we look at the standings, Vampires, yep, that is going to be the ticket for them to the top of the board. As we know, unfortunately, there's nothing but bragging rights for the top of the board, at least for today. It is going to, however, make it a lot more certain that we could see them making it through into those grand finals. Skyforce also flying upwards as they've climbed 2 positions. D Xavier, with their performance in the last match, those 12 points awards them a 3-slot jump all the way up into 6th place. T2K, though, gonna like this for them, right? Those 14 points are gonna go a long, long way, securing themselves quite comfortably up in 8th place. Vikings moving down, as well as DRS and Voin Donkey. Halal Axatron, though, no movement, and that is good, right? They are just solidified in that 3rd place, at least for the time being. The point situation still very close. So Skyforce, Voin Donkey, even D Xavier and DRS could quite comfortably overtake them in this next match. But let's see what the second page looks like, and that is exactly where we find the players from Tribe Eremacy sharing the points, the same amount here with Bandit. But Bandit, they've just been so exceptionally aggressive. 40 eliminations and only 8 placement points.
Absolutely, Bandit. Even in the previous match, we saw them getting no placement point, and then they had 9 eliminations in total. That was another insane gameplay by them. They're focusing on elimination points. Another team who is trying to maximize their confidence in terms of aggression. But moving onwards, we have Nexury. Yes, last game was a decent game by them. They will jump 2 spots on, but they have to get another good game if they want to qualify, because top 9 teams are going to move forward. The rest of the teams will go home, and you don't want to be in those spots. You don't want to go home.
Yep, the pressure is going to be on. As we know, it is going to be the race for the top 9 to see who will be making it into the grand finals. But of course, with all of that now said and done, the first 3 matches of the day has been concluded, right? We have now reached that halfway point for day 2 of the last chance qualifiers right here in the Asia Showdown Season 4. The big question is going to be, who will be the team to step up to claim the very last Erangel? And then, of course, we'll be curious to see what will be happening in the final 2 Murmurs. But before we get into that, we are going to be heading into a quick break to make sure that we've got everything locked and loaded and ready to go. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready to move into the final half of day number last in, well, the last chance qualifiers, as the pressure is going to be on, and it's still a very tight and contentious race for that top 9 slot. I mean, top 9, right? 51 points. And then, of course, 10th and 11th sitting on 48. So all of that could quite easily change coming into our next match. But, of course, it is going to be our final Erangel as well, to see how the teams are going to look to contest and step up to the plate. Already 11 so far the day. Very exciting. We have 2 teams currently sitting with 2 winner chicken dinners between yesterday and today. Of course, that's Talon and Halal Axatron. So I'm curious who will take the final Erangel. Who will get match number 4 tagged and bagged and walking away with that chicken to be theirs?
Absolutely. I think it's not just you, it's everyone. All the fans are also curious, but I think it's time to end your curiosity. Let's move ahead. Let's talk about the next match, the last Erangel that will be played in the last chance, and then we'll have 2 Miramars, the last 2 matches. But so much lost. Let's see who can lose in this match. Moving onwards, the flight path is going to go from the hospital side on towards that Yasnaya Polyana. You can say that this is a northwestern flight path, which will create a lot of trouble for the teams who want to go towards military base side and opener side. Yes, we have seen 2 teams who love to fight on Novo side. Now that both the teams, they cannot go there, the contention cannot happen. Where are they going to go? Are they going to change the drop location? If so, then where are they going to go? And wherever they will go, will there be another team? RQ, this time around, they're going so close to team R3G. Probably RQ is going to go towards Zarki side, where they will not find any challenge. But yes, R3G will probably try to get their vehicles from that side, because that's what they do. They get the vehicle from Zarki, they get back to North Georgia side, loot from there, and then try to rotate. But where is the circle going to go? Another biggest question, because on the maps of Erangel yesterday, the biggest challenge was the zone. Teams were trying their best, because they were struggling in the first 10 to 15 minutes to find a way to get to the zone.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty challenging. So far, it seems today like the zone has been a lot more kinder to them, allowing them a lot more of an opportunity to get themselves situated and positioned. But the big question is, of course, who will be the first squads to make the push into that positioning, right? As we can see, the zone is going to be centering up on, well, Gatka, as well as Chopsticks, and of course, those beautiful open fields. But it's just a challenging play here, right? The zone not going to be kind to anybody, and already the players from Bandit starting us off with a little bit of aggression.
Absolutely. This is what they're trying to do. They're focusing on their aggression every other match, every other fight, every other, a second. They just try to get elimination points, and that's classical Bandit for you. They do not want to get their hands on the placement points. They do not care about it. They probably don't care about the qualification, but that's not the way to go. If you want to qualify, you have to be in the top 8. And if you're not in top 8, even if you have 50 elimination points, it does not matter. Your domination does not matter. But Hokia will find one with the DP28. The beautiful spray is gonna go, and on the other side, elimination number is also confirmed. AST is suffering with this drop clashes more than anybody else, because they always lose their player, and Bandit, they always get elimination points in the early on fights. So AST, another team who needs to work on their drop location. I mean, in every other match, they just lose their players.
Yeah, that's not really the kind of way that you want to go through it, right? The name of the game is to keep your players alive as long as possible. Speaking about keeping players alive, Riley having a little bit of a tough play there, as we did see the Vikings securing yet another play, their first elimination for the day. Well, on this map, bro. Here we go, as 4YLC also gets the party underway on their front. Now, several teams going to be feeling the pressure. DRS, those HP bars not looking very good. Skyforce, though, interesting spread, right? Icy very removed from the rest of the team. Are they going to look to maybe close this split up? Very interesting losing strategy coming through here from Skyforce.
Absolutely, but look at DRS versus 4LC. Fearless is careless. He just went all in and confirmed an elimination number on DRS. It's not looking good for them. The pressure is definitely going to be on DRS, because now if they lose this match without getting a single point, if they get eliminated, someone from the points table is going to climb up
And by the looks of it, I think DRS is not looking good. But Bandit, they're coming for a hunt. They're coming and chasing down the players of Team ASD. But in this 2v3 situation, are they going to capitalize? Tribal Messi, they already knocked one player down. It's a 1v2 situation, but wait a second. What a beautiful show skills. What a beautiful spray by Delta. He took one down, and that was barrel that we're talking about. Taking down players from Buggy with a barrel. That is amazing by Delta. But now he is in a 1v3 where Hokia will seal the deal. And with a beautiful 1v3, it's ASD. That is done and dusted. No more points, no more time to survive for you. Bandit will get this fight, but they lost a player in the process. Venice is not going to believe what happened to him.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how this all unfolds as the players continue to try and double down on as much of a spicy play as they can. But hey, well done to Hokia on that one, doing what was needed. And now we look to see who's going to be the next contender looking to rise up, right? DRS. They are also still now sitting with that solo up. Bandit down to a 3-piece. HP bars needs to get mended, but the push is still going to have to come through. 1-for-1 on this far side. Still have a long way to go. Still having to try and secure themselves quite a few points, because getting up into the top 9, they will have to double the points that they currently have. So if they want to make a play for that, these next 3 matches will have to be close to perfection. And we can almost say the same coming through there for R3G. So curious to see what both these teams are going to be looking to bring onto the battlefield. Meanwhile, the rest of 1-for-1 all the way up into that lovely prison position. R3G all the way up onto the north. We did see them drop into North George. Now, they've got their vehicles, but they also get a little bit of that heat come through from RRQ now rotating out of Zaki.
Absolutely, R3G, they need a big match if they want to qualify. Top 9 is so far away that even after a good match, maybe with 20 total points, they will probably not going to be able to make their ways inside the top 9. So they need more than that. They need a great match, and then they need consistency if they want to qualify, because they missed their 3 matches. And even when they joined the 4th one, they managed to get how many points? 0 points in the last one, because the rotation was the main reason why they struggle. And they were unable to make their ways inside the zone in the previous match. They lost all the players. They actually delivered their players to all the other teams. So we can say that Team R3G need to step up big time. This time around, there's going to be another team so close, but they got to stay away. They got to watch out. Zone rotation is more important than fighting. And that's something that Team R3G will probably realize too. So yeah, let's see. They need some vehicles, because rotating 2 players on 1 buggy, not a good idea. Someone will find you. Someone will take you down. Taking down the driver is easy, but taking down the passenger from buggy, it's the easiest thing to do. But yeah, let's see if R3G tries to make this mistake, because if you go into the zone like this, it will be a mistake. But talking about the mistakes, it's not good. Who will also be punished because of the mistake that it did? But RRQ is going all in. It's a 1v3 situation, and what is going on? Epix will do it. He's gonna do a 1v3, a classical by him, and this is gonna be a 1v4. Look at this. Look at RRQ. They are just charging in. It's Rio who is in a 1v1 situation with G, but G will get the better of him. RRQ gets eliminated, but what a play by Epix. So what a play. What a classical show of skills by Epix.
I mean, a very exciting performance there from Apex. Insane 3v everyone else. Clutch. DRS also going to get taken on down. Out they go. But Nextory really looking to rise to the occasion here. Getting those 4 eliminations up. They are putting themselves that much closer to gaining entry into the top 4. But first up, they will have to ensure that they have a good position to rotate in towards. In the meantime, it is going to be Talon. Ooh, feeling that sting as a T2K greets them on the edge of zone. Both squads still have a very long way to go, as the zone is not going to be kind to anybody. We now meet the end of stage number 2, or stage number 1 rather. Still very contentious angle being held on the side here. Shields trying to see if they can reach in. Stage number 1, Blue's not going to be doing all too much, but you definitely don't want to spend too much time here, as it does make taking these fights that extra bit more challenging. Cool. Also, don't want to put themselves out in the open. Don't want to be too exposed. Waiting for that smoke to be deployed before pushing forward. Meanwhile, D Xavier and Vampires fighting each other out in the open as well. Vampire already 2 players getting knocked, but now Yoru Johan goes down. Shield looking to see if they can bounce back. Can they retaliate and clutch up, because the pressure is now riding fully on their shoulders?
Absolutely, the pressure is riding on their shoulders. It's the last man standing. Shield has the responsibility to take his team forward. I mean, it's the first spot that is compromised. If they get eliminated early on, Vampire will definitely have a chance to make a lead. But T2K Igneous is coming in on a vehicle. It's not looking good for team T2K also, because the minute advantage is not there. But Vampire will eliminate DX. Lamborghini gets eliminated, and in fact, it was Myaula who got eliminated. And on one side, it's Vampire who is showing domination. On another side, it's Talon Esports who is getting dominated. But then we have 4YLC versus 1-4 going on. So close to farm. Both the team need to move inside the zone. But a grenade comes in by K2, takes Fearless down. And limited confirmation is also going to be there. But there is no one else on the backside to help him, to revive him, to make sure that 1-4 could not push. But 1-4, they will get this elimination point, and now they can rotate safely inside the zone. It's the farm area that we're talking about, and the zone is so far away from here.
Yeah, and that's not kind of the position that you want to find yourself in. You want to try and keep that momentum. You don't want to be too far removed from it. But up is the push now. Let's see who's going to be able to clutch it out. Players continuing now to apply themselves. The push is coming through. The blue is still eating away. The molly now coming into the swing of things as well. And this is going to be quite a troubling angle to try and defend off of. They need to find a way through. They need to try and close this up before time runs out.
Absolutely. Look at Next Esports. They're fighting with Vikings, and they're managing to get elimination points. It's the 6th confirmation by Team Nexury, and Apex is eliminated. I wish and I hope that maybe in that situation where I think it was which team was it? What's that team? RRQ? Yeah, it was RRQ. I just hope that RRQ they didn't confirm the elimination point on Apex, and Nexury, they would have had the opportunity to dominate in this match. But wait a second, it's Vampire is pushing on them, and Kanto, what a blunder by you! How can you do this? This is a situation where you need all the players that you can have, but unfortunately, Vampire Kanto, he falls from his buggy and gets knocked out. The confirmation is going to be there. Vampire Myaula is the last one standing. Nexury, they are getting lucky, and they're getting gutsy as well. Now Myaula is the last one standing. Will they deal with him with a grenade? Yes, the answer is yes. Luck is with them, and G with a beautiful grenade. This time around, Myaula gets eliminated, and 9 elimination points to the tally. 9 elimination points to the board. Nexury is playing with a different level of aggression here. There's no one who can match him. Be it RRQ, one of those aggressive teams, be it Vampire Sports, one of those consistent, they will just eliminate everyone out there.
Yeah, you got to play with that consistency, right? That's the only way that you're going to be able to climb up the board. Get the points that you need. For YLC out in the blue, going to be tanking a little bit of that damage. It's going to be a pretty tough run for them. Champions Esports, though, they'll have a long way to go if they want to secure the points, so they're going to have to be very, very strategic with their upcoming performances here. T2K, though, going to be meeting the end of the road. 3 eliminations up and down they go. They only came in with 3 players to start off with, so already coming in with a little bit of a disadvantage. Now 1-for-1 are going to be looking to get the jump here on Voin Donkey. Quite a bit of a play here over on towards the eastern edge of zone. Potato Hills, where it's at. But will Voin Donkey be able to clutch it up here? 1-for-1, definitely going to be looking to try and stop them from gaining that entry.
Absolutely, 1-for-1. Sirius is down, but the situation is still in their favor. They have the minute advantage, but Voin Donkeys, look at them. They are wrapping around. They're taking the control of the hill, and the heightened angle is with them now. Look at this. As Voltrix is down, now 1-for-1 is left with the last man standing, and as we always say, Voin Donkeys is taking the players of 1-for-1, 1 by 1, and Zubian is the last one standing away from his team. Cannot do anything, falling back on this buggy, staying away from the contention because he knows that it's not easy for him to face all 4 players together. But Voin Donkey seems like the comeback storyline is being written by them, because at the start of the day, they were on the first spot. It was Talon who dethroned them. Then Vampire came in, and both teams are eliminated, this is an opportunity for Team Boing Donkeys to get the first spot once again, but they need a chicken dinner with good elimination points.
Well, let's see if those eliminations are going to be coming their way now. Next 9 eliminations already. What they have to show for this game. It is looking pretty good on their front. But are they going to be able to secure a good spot on towards that southern side as they now look to move up? Zone 3 about to come to an end. Got to watch out for those trees. They have a bad habit of really stopping your vehicle right in its track. But luckily for luck, things are working out, at least for the time being. Champion, though, going to be riding just on the edge, locking down the compounds. This is that opportunity for them to see how can they respond. But next 3, not going to be waiting around. Instead, they've come to the realization that there is a team there. It's not an open compound to try and play for. And instead, they can try to find another position a little bit further up towards the north. And now they got to opt for not quite the angle that they were hoping to play from.
Well, if talk about the position of Team C1, this is a beautiful spot on the edges where they will not probably face any slamming, because there's one thing about these compounds. Yes, there will be there will be so many teams who will try to pinch you, who will try to throw bullets on you, but there will be no one who will decide to push on these compounds, because even if they decide to push, it will be an annihilation, or it will be a domination from your side. You have these compounds in your favor. You can stop anyone who tries to push. Even if 2 teams try to push at the same time, you will get age elimination points. That's the beauty of these compounds. But talking about a place which is not good, that is definitely the Pochinki main city, where anyone can slam in, have a place for them, have a space for them. And for now, Halal Exertion is there. MVK, which is Vikings, is also there. I mean, after one good match, Vikings just got out of the picture. They had all 4 players standing in the previous match. If talk about elimination numbers, they had good elimination points in the previous 2 to 3 matches. But now they have 2 players, 1 elimination points. But Boing Donkeys, they knocked, 2 of the players were knocked out. And Halal Exertion, they're taking the advantage. They're pushing on these compounds one by one. The grenades are going to come in. Boing Donkeys, they have to be careful. They have to dodge all the bullets, all the grenades side by side. Talking about Hitman, he's pushing, he's going on the run, wrapping around all the players from a different angle. But look at this, look at Boing Donkeys, they are charging in, they are answering back now. 6-9 is the last one standing, and he will be left with no hopes if he gets eliminated. Boing Donkeys, you cannot lose your player. That was a blunder. It's a 1v2 situation. 6-9 is confirming elimination points on Team Boing Donkeys. You can go all in, eliminate the last player. How can you allow him to confirm elimination numbers? And one by one, the grenades are going to come in once again, and this time around, it will be over for Team Halal Exertion, and Boing Donkeys will save their teammate, but they could have saved the other teammate as well. But they tried to, just stay back, and maybe they did not want to make a mistake. They did not want their opponent to clutch them.
Yeah, well, you can't really fault them for not wanting to give away points unnecessarily so. But let's see whether or not the players here from Skyforce can maybe look to double down. Already 4 eliminations up. Boing Donkey just ahead of them in the standings. But now R3G off in the distance, going to be trying to see if they can get a little bit of an opportunity here. Cooking up a few nades, sending them over the ridge. They found 1 elimination so far, but they need a lot more than that. And so far, it seems like things are going their way. They do find Icy, and with that, they have a bit of an opportunity. Putting Skyforce here on a bit of a back foot, but not enough of a back foot just yet. That made, though, from Roshan, right on the money. Down goes Godless, and Skyforce now starting to crumble. They got 1 player out in the blue. Not quite sure if Sanchir is going to be able to survive the onslaught. But at the same time, you got to keep a very close eye here on Bandit. Bandit definitely going to be looking to shake it up as best they can. Sanchir now looking for the opportunity. Up comes Nexary as well. Demo moving up onto the offside. Going to try and play for a bit of a third-party angle. So this is not looking good now. Skyforce go down. 4 eliminations to show for it. But R3G, this is them looking to bounce back. They've been taking quite a bit of a beating, down to 2 players. The HP bars needs to get mended. No. Champions Esports looking to spring into action. They've sensed that there's somebody in their vicinity. Of course, it is going to be Shield here from the Talon side. But can they get that angle? Ooh, we got the P90 in play as well. So Kino could definitely play a major upset here.
Absolutely, but Are they gonna allow him? Is the lobby gonna allow him to do anything crazy? But Talon Esports, now that they are on the verge of elimination, this opened rooms for Team Boing Donkeys. They have 6 eliminations in total. They have some beautiful compounds. Yes, there was a team who decided to push all because they managed to give them an opportunity to take 2 players down. I mean, how can you do that? If one of the players is knocked out, you cannot peek. Do not peek. Teams do not do that. But, 2 players were knocked out. Boing Donkeys still managed to hold their compounds, still managed to get elimination numbers. But now that C1 is trying to enter into the zone, they have the church area for themselves. Although 1 or 2 players can probably try to go on the top of that church and will try to spray down on the players of on the players of Boing Donkeys. But look at the kill feed. Next 3 gets eliminated. The solos are finding each other. It's a solo fight going on, the solo show, where Talon Sports will find the player of next 3 and eliminate him. Getting close to the last few zones, it's the stage number 5. We're moving on towards the stage number 6. In the meantime, Kino will find Talon Sports, and that's the full squad. Steven Sports. Their entire focus is to get the chicken dinner DK. That's what they want. Talon Sports, Steven Sports will not settle on anything lesser than a chicken dinner.
Well, I mean, you can't really afford to do anything less than that, right? If you want to make it up into the top 9, that's exactly what your approach and your mentality has to be. They are currently sitting on about 41 points. So if they want to contest, they need to score an additional 14 points on top of what they have if they want to catch up with where Bandit find themselves right now. So the pressure is going to be there. And also remember that placement points are in full swing. So that will definitely impact the scores. Pressure not really getting to champions though, right? Yes, they've got 4 players in the game. They don't necessarily have a secure angle moving in here. But they don't have too much stress, right? It's just going to be a nice, easy, breezy play. At least for Kino, up on towards the northern side here. With that P90.
Absolutely. The circle is closing in. Where is the circle gonna go? If it leaves the eastern side, all the teams will be forced to move towards the zone. And yes, it will leave the side. And now, look at this. Boing Donkeys needs to find a way to get inside the circle. There's the Vikings who is outside the zone, sucking the blue juice. There's the Byan who's outside the zone. He will be taking a lot of damage. And then 3 to 4 teams. All the teams, they need to move inside the zone. Okay, talking about C1. Yes, the spread was brilliant. It was commendable. They have the map control. They can probably gatekeep these solos or duos or probably the entire squad of Team VD. But VD, what is going to be their plan of action? They know the circle is not here. All the other areas are open. The compounds are taken by C1. And now they're going for a split. They're going for the map control. That's another repetitive circle of Pochinki. C1 Esports, this time around, they're not letting it go from their hands. Superman coming in with a grenade. The solos are going to find each other once again. It's Byan versus Superman. The grenades are going to go fly. Superman has no clue that where exactly the player is. Maybe he has an idea that 1-for-1 Zabian is here or somebody's here, but he does not have any exact idea that where exactly the player is. But look at this. Boing Donkeys, they decided to go all in with this vehicle, although it will allow him to stay alive for some time, but it's going to be a head-on fight because Boing Donkeys, they're outside the zone. And if Razek decides to push forward, if Boing Donkeys decide to push forward, C1 will be there to confirm those elimination points. So you gotta watch out. But the zone is gonna start. Grenades are gonna come in. Superman gets eliminated because Zabian will throw a beautiful connection with a beautiful grenade.
Well, we love to see that, but now they need to step it up. Zabian having a moment of glory, but it might be short-lived. Ooh, actually not. They do get the hit up into 66i. Now the pressure continuing to build as champions lock it in. Atomic coming in clutch, closing it off there for 1-for-1. But they're not out of the woods just yet. 2 players up. The pressure is going to be rolling in as Boing Donkey keeps on rushing up. Oh, here we go. Kino just trying to dip, duck, and dive their way through, but the spray is in. Razak secures the angle. Atomic, can they clutch it up here? They've been able to bring 66 back in the fight. Point Donkey just carefully riding the ridge. Again, not going to be looking to overextend too much. But look at Bandit. They've taken up a good position in the zone.
Absolutely. You got to keep an eye on Bandit. They've been consistent. In terms of elimination numbers, they have been dominant. 6 elimination numbers still to the tally. Look at Team Seaman Esports. The angles are there. The grenades are going to go. The first player is knocked out. So is Gazer, who's low on HP. He can also be taken down. Balcha is looking for a revive out here. But C1, they're more focused to eliminate the players than they are focusing to revive their teammates. But Gazer now realizes that the push is coming in. The grenade, in fact, the Molotov is going to go. But C1 Atomic, you're forced to take this 1v1 where he will find the first connection. And then onwards, the second connection will be there. And look at this. There we have it. Point Donkeys gets eliminated on the 7 with 7 elimination points in the 3rd spot. But Bandit, the information is delivered. They have a drop that they can loot and maximize their utilities. But now they need to charge in before Team C1 gets a chance to settle in. The heals are going to go by C1, but Bandit is just trying to commit.
Well, here we go. Can Tensky clutch this one out? This nade could be the saving grace. This could be the angle for them to try and play off of. Bandit really have a very controlling position right here, but of course, so does C1. C1 has that elevation that they could try and capitalize off, so it is going to be a little bit of an uphill battle now for Bandit to get a clear, concise play. But I love this off-angle strategy coming through here. Puzzle is going to look to wrap around. Going to watch out not to get too close to that blue. Now Champions, they're going to try and make their final stand. They got 3 players up. They have a position in zone, not the most comfortable spot, but they do have one. They look to move a little bit more towards the east, trying to get that spread, trying to turn the tables against Bandit. The pressure continuing now to build up bit by bit as Bandit find themselves on even ground. Champions having to re-strategize here. Again, heals coming into play, utility starting to fly all over the place, but not going in any given direction just yet. Bandit definitely looking to just bulldoze their way into this fight.
Absolutely, it's a clean 3v3, but C1 Atomic, the play area is with him. He spotted Puzzle out, trying to spray some bullets out there, but with a shotgun, he will definitely damage Tensky, but so will Atomic. He will also be getting a lot of damage. 2 players are here from C1 side. One is left behind for any of those off angles, elevated angles plays. But Team Bandit, they don't have the play area. If only Team C1 had some utilities in their favor. I mean, if they had 3 to 4 grenades, it would have been game over for Team Bandit. But look at them. They are pushing in. That's a mistake. Balza will find one. Balza finds another. Now it's a 2v1 situation. Team C1, they're just dominating, and with the last 1v1, C1 will become our champions of this last wrangle match. What a wrap by them.
Yeah, C1 being the one to step up and get that winner chicken dinner locked and secured. A phenomenal showing coming through, and of course still a very contentious fight all the way to the end of this game. Nobody backing down, everybody keeping the pressure as high as they can find it. But there will only be one victor to lock in that winner chicken dinner. It is going to be Champions Esports reigning supreme. And again, a beautiful, beautiful showing coming through here. I mean, it was pretty tough, right? Moving into those final few plays. Bandit looked like they had a controlling position. It looked like they could get this one in the bag. But Champions managing to turn it around and instead rise to the occasion. Speaking about rising, Hokia is going to be our MVP. 4 eliminations and 800 damage secured.
All Bandit Esports this time around, they were not just focusing on the elimination points. They focused on getting a chicken dinner. They got so close, but I think it was yet so far because C1, they had some other plan. Champions Esports, I mean, they played beautifully. The credit goes to them. It's. We can say that Bandit did not play bad. It was C1 who played exceptionally well with 19 points. They will secure a great amount of total points in their favor. But Bandit with 12. It's also a great number. One Donkeys also got 12 points, all because they had 7 elimination points. Then we had 1 for 1 finally coming up with a good match, because previously they probably had total 20 points and now they have 10 points in one match, which is good, but they cannot qualify with such points. They need amazing or maybe super amazing points if they want to be in the top 9.
Yeah. Gonna have to really put in a lot of work to ensure a confident finish coming into this. But one team that had a little bit of a tough run here was DRS, right? DRS, unfortunately, not being able to bag any points for the final Erangel here of the day. And it's going to be a pretty tough one to try and bounce back from. Yes, they are well secured within the top 9, but nothing is guaranteed. At least they were comfortably setting up in the position here. But champions, of course, are going to be taking up 56 points, exactly the same as what DRS had previous. Now the pressure is on. It's going to be a race to see who can do the most. Voin Donkey moving up 2 slots all the way up into 3rd. Bandit, though, with another jump, right? This time climbing up 4 positions all the way up into 7th.
Whoa, what a jump. What a jump by Bandit Esports. 60 points in total. Maybe after another chicken dinner, they will be in the top 3, but Lobby is not gonna allow them. Champions Esports also, they took a huge jump and now they are in the qualification list, but DRS is out of the qualification list. Imagine getting a chicken dinner yesterday in the first match and then getting out of the qualification criteria because you don't have enough points. There are 2 more matches to left. Only time is going to tell us going to qualify. But next to Esports, they need to step up alongside Vikings Esports, who were probably trying to finish their day in the top 3. Now that after one good game, all their matches were not good enough. They need to work on their remaining matches. 11 placement points, 11 placement points, 43 elimination points. That's a good number. But you need to focus on those placement points if you want to qualify. Only elimination points are not going to get you there. But then we have Driver Messi on the second page. 4LC is also on 14th spot.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tough here. I mean, as you saw, 1-for-1, rather, they were trying in this last match to try and maybe secure a few additional points. Unfortunately, the lobby had other plans for them, so things not necessarily going their way completely. But 10 points is going to allow them a little bit of a move up into that 16th position. But there we have our spread so far. All the Erangels done and dusted. Rondo done and dusted. Now the big question is, who's going to be stepping up in Miramar? Who's going to be making some Dust Devils now appear, as the teams will have only 2 more matches left to contest for the top 9 slots?
Absolutely. Last 2 games in Miramar's, the terrain is going to change. Is the momentum going to change? Going to be changed? Will it be shifted? Will there be another contention out there? Will there be another dominator of these matches? We'll wait and we'll find out. But that's wrap up for the action. That's it for now. We have 2 more matches to go that will be played on the map of Miramar. But don't go anywhere. Grab your snacks, grab your popcorns. We'll be right back after a very short break.
Welcome back, everyone. It is going to be that big old send into the desert, the last 2 matches, to see who's going to be able to clutch it out, who will be able to secure themselves enough points. And of course, the top 9 is getting closer and closer. 9th place, 56 points. 10th place, 56 points. Then 11th and 12th, 54 points. So it is all going to come down to what the teams bring into these next final 2 games to be the decider. And the very odd place for me to freeze on over there. But hey, well, guess we'll take it as we hop into the game to take a look at the flight path.
Absolutely, the flight path is going to be there. We're talking about the competition. It's definitely not just on the 9th or 10th spot. Talking about the top teams, there is a contention of the points going on there. Vampire versus Talon versus Wine Donkeys versus Sky Force. After the previous match, Sky Force and Halal Exatron, they also came so close. But Sky Force, will they be able to breach into the top 3? And Wine Donkeys, will they be able to get the first spot? Only time is going to tell. After these 2 matches, things are going to be very evident. Moving onwards, it's the 11th match, day number 2, Last Chance Asia Shutdown Season 4 by Lidoma. And you can check out the platform. It's Lidoma. Wait, let me share the exact link to you. It's platform.lidoma.com. Just go there. There will be so many tournaments, so many events going on. If you want to be a participant, if you want to participate in such tournaments up against those great teams, your favorite teams, you can go there, register, sign up, and maybe you'll get a chance. But moving onwards, let's talk about the drop clashes. It's going to be DRS coming up against another team, and they are not settled. They're not trying to settle. They will just go all in. Once again, DRS is taking a drop clash.
Yep, it's the lovely Hacienda del Patron. Let's see if they can clutch it out. There we have the zone as well. It's going to be taking us back over to that eastern side, just doubling down on where the flight path was coming from. So going to be keeping the players and the squads on their toes. Not quite what we had yesterday, but close enough. Now, DRS, going to be holding steady. 1-for-1, taking down 4YLC. So those drop clashes are really getting concluded now. Let's see what will be in store here for DRS as the Vikings knocking on the door. They want entry. They want a place. But will they be allowed? That Golden Dorado could also get stolen right then and there. And see whether or not the Dorado is going to hold any longer now. JD up high. Killer White team moving about. Cyclone taking a little bit of damage. The nades cooking up and making connections. This could still turn in favor of DRS. But they're going to have to rush it. They're getting closer and closer to the top 9. 1 point moves them up. Here they are. Will this be enough, though? They have to clean out the entirety of the Vikings if they want to continue with their run. Still, 2 players down on the ground level here. As you can see, it is Break and Superman keeping it steady. Vikings getting the nade connecting through. Superman taking damage. He's not impervious to those shots. Let's see will he survive. Oh, quick switch over here by Killer White T. But now, it's going to be the final push. Vikings not down just yet. They still have 1 hopeful left to try and make it that difference here. Is it going to be enough, though? The angle is there. Just need 1 hit out the side. Oh, there we go. DRS wraps it up, managing to hold on to all 4 players. So not too much of a costly engagement here. In fact, all they were able to get were those points. But now, RRQ, they're going to look to try to sneak in a bit of a cheeky play here. Lapar just riding on the ridges.
Absolutely. DRS wiping the floor. That's a huge early victory at Resanable Patron. Previously, in this engagement, they were losing their players. And this is for the first time when they did not lose anyone. For YLC, as they were taken down by 1-for-1, MVK Vikings are sent home by DRS. They need to find some heals because RRQ is looking for an opening. Once they get get a player knocked out, they will definitely go for the slam in, and we know RRQ, they just don't bother at all. Once they take 1 down, once they take 1 knock, they will just slam in right on your face. And you'll be like, huh? Why would you do that? They do not care about the consequences. That's the reason why RQ is on the 16th spot. I mean, if you care about the consequence, you will be playing like Halal Exatron. I mean, Halal, the way they started this day, they got 2 chicken dinners in the early on 2 matches because they knew it's the most important thing to do. And once they got settled in, once they were like, we can qualify from here, they got so relaxed. They have 65 points and they can definitely qualify. That's the perfect storyline Because probably RQ and Halal Exitron, before the day started, they probably had the same point.
Well, let's see. Can they look to push it through? Can they bag that last few points out of this? Squeeze every last little drop out of the situation here. I mean, maybe next week can get a little bit of magic cooking over. Right, R3G just there holding up into Montenuevo. Always an interesting spot to see where these teams choose to get themselves engaged. How will this one play out? I mean, Roshan definitely going to be one of those players to watch. New player not starting to move on forward. Apex, I like that off angle that they've got there. But is that going to be enough now for Nextry to get the jump in here? R3G starting to move up. New player getting spotted out in the open. The shots are sent through. Oh, super low on health. Narrowly escaping the play here from Demo. But so far, Nextry actually doing a pretty good job, right? They also still need just a few eliminations to kind of squeeze themselves closer and closer to the point situation here. Bandit are going to be feeling a little bit of that tingle come through as they find themselves all the way out in the blue. Meanwhile, R3G trying to play through the buildings, get that next position to try and respond from. But Nextry with a very tight overwatch here.
Well, as soon as we talk about Team Nextry, we cannot ignore, the clutch play of Apex that he did in the last match on Team RRQ. That was brilliant by him. A 1v3 on a team that is charging in, and all three players were charging in together. That's not the kind of 1v3 we usually see. That's not the kind of flush that you can make happen on Team RRQ. I mean, they are one of those aggressive names out there. But talking about Team Next Esports, they are taking the players of R3G down. That's not looking good. The confirmation was also there. Roshan, the main important, the vital fragger, is knocked out and eliminated. Next Esports, they are using their advantage to the maximum. They have the placement advantage. They're wrapping around. They have cornered Team R3G. Both the teams are here in Montenuevo. The blue juice is definitely going to hurt everyone out there. But next Esports, they probably have enough loot for themselves. The gatekeep is looking tough for Team R3G to break. But alongside Team R3G, it's Nextry. They also have to make their ways inside the zone. Blue is a common enemy for everyone out there. You cannot, just stay inside the blue zone because you want to eliminate someone. But talking about elimination, it's AST who is getting eliminated by Skyforce.
All right, there we go. The pressure is going to be on. Riggs is going to go down. We did see the positions now just awaiting, right? Giante. Oh, the knee. The knee.
There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to hurt the knee for a little while, right? But unfortunately, therefore, the side of Triberimacy, they only have 2 points to show for this match. Very unfortunate turn of events for them, but it is what it is. Now it's going to be R3G still and Nexary fighting it out here. Almost 2,200 meters away from that zone. Got to be a really long rotation for whoever manages to survive here. Demo and Luck not going to be looking to give it up just yet. They want to follow through. They want to try and close this match, or at least this engagement. I don't really see any vehicles here for them, so they only have so many options, right? Very limited as to what they can do with regards to this blue. Now, it's going to be Lamborghini coming through in the monster truck, trying to close up with the rest of the team. Levi's and the rest are going to welcome 1-for-1 in as they push on forward. There we go. The trade is up. Voltrox is on their knees. The Xavier looking to double down. Ooh, but 1-for-1. Good call. Rather choosing to disengage instead of focusing too much on the aggression here. Vampire Esports, down they go. Only scoring 1 point, and it's the end of their run in the first murmur for the day.
Well, this will open an opportunity for Team Talon Esports and Wine Donkeys. They can get their hands on the first spot. And Skyforce, the team who eliminated Vampire Esports, if they manage to get a chicken dinner with the last 3 players, the first spot is open for them too. I mean, they have 67 points. After adding these points, they have 73. 12 more points, and they can be on the first spot. So Skyforce looking to double it down. But are they going to do it? Let's see after this match. Although there's one more match to go. Nexury Esports, they started their fight with a brilliant first knockout. But after that, R3G was like, it's not going to be so easy. We are one of those PMSL teams out there. We will also punish you. But then we have a lot of exertion. Trying to rotate inside the zone. Yes, they had some beautiful rotations today. They had some beautiful fights as well. 2 chicken dinners on the map of Erangel. That was also a good thing, but Halal, can they repeat it on the map of Myanmar? But wait a second, NX versus Team R3G, it's still going.
Yeah, the pressure is up here. They're not going to be stopping just yet, right? Still on the far side. They've now gone from 2,200 meters away from zone to almost 4,500 kilometers away. That is just absolutely absurd. Why would you be so committed to fighting out in the blue? It makes no sense, and it's not beneficial for your squad whatsoever. For several other teams also getting caught out in the blue. Now, Void Donkey climbing up the side here of Tierra Bronca. Nice, up towards the northern side here. Not a lot of players that we can see in the vicinity. We do say goodbye to new player. As the shotty comes through. Nexury now having a little bit more of an opportunity here, but are they going to rotate out? Because there's only Vazi left here. And I mean, even if they get the points, it's not going to be enough to secure their position, right? There's no placement coming along with going down to the blue zone, falling in these early phases of the game. So a very costly engagement. And I mean, R3G, yeah, they were trying to do a little bit of something, but they've now come to realize that there's only so much that they can continue to do. Now, we did see a call there from Talon, also sliding off the mountain. Not quite sure where they're going at it. RRG, though. RRQ, rather. Nuga, up on the watchtower, locks on and finds Void Donkey down below. And this is not going to be an easy exit for Void Donkey there.
Well, it's not going to be an easy exit on any side for anyone. Look at this. RRQ versus Void Donkey. Ruiz got taken down. Gazer is also knocked out. But NEX, how could you make this blunder? You know that this is the worst vehicle to rotate. You used a bike. Although the player who tried to help his own teammate, he was on a better spot before when he came here for the help. But talking about 1-for-1 versus Tingos, it's a fight of 3v3 situation. But K2 will find both players, will confirm those elimination points. Sirius comes from the backside. That's a good situation for Team 1-for-1. But Team RQ, they're planning. Rizek, they're cooking. They're trying to cook Team Void Donkey's players. But that's not a good thing. 1-for-1. Now they're showing the signs of life. They're trying to get elimination points. They need to increase the domination. But on another side, it's T2K suffering the fate. In fact, suffering some elimination numbers. RoseOG still trying to stay into this fight. Ignis bleeding out. He cannot be revived. But T2K, will RoseOG pull off a miracle here or not? Will he be also taken down? These are some questions. I think 3 elimination points were confirmed by Team Talon Esports on T2K. Now RoseOG is the last player, and Talon Esports will definitely charge on him once they get enough time to reset themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I just want to talk about what we saw there from Nexury. I don't know. We did see them eventually grabbing that vehicle. Why did they wait that long? Right? If the vehicle was there, why not get it done sooner? Right? It cost them so dearly. But it is what it is, right? Champions Esports, though, they're going to be hoping for a bit of an angle here onto Halal Exatron. Let's see whether or not Exatron is going to allow this jump to come through a very eastern zone that we are still dealing with here as we do look at that blue zone closure. C1, up they come. Again, not looking overly too aggressive. They are just trying to suss out the situation. But they're going to have to be quick because Bandit are going to be prepped and ready to go themselves. Blue is going to start moving up. Bandit running out of options. They are going to be looking for a quick pickup here. As they spot Kino. Yep, confirmation secured. That is it. Puzzle squeezes that one out. But now the blue right there on them. Position continuing to increase with the difficulty here. Halal Axatron going to be feeling that pressure starting to build alongside them. Bandit, how will they play through this? They got champions to deal with. They've got Icy and the rest of the other crew as well, just over on that western front. So 4 teams now situated right here. And of course, Talon up to the north. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Just go for it. We'll just sit here and clean it up. We'll take all the eliminations that you want to give to us. So Skyforce could also play quite a bit of a role in the success of these 3 teams down on the southern side. R3G, up comes Vazi. Vazi could also be taking a quick rotation back into the lobby like Champions Esports just did.
Absolutely, Bandit Esports with 3 elimination points. They are looking so aggressive once again. It's HLE versus Bandit going on here. Alalik Citron is also coming for a third party on this side. But look at this. DRS is also going up against Skyforce. It's a 3v4 situation. DRS have the advantage. They need to use it to the maximum. Utilities should be used. Once the smoke fade away, the position is going to get compromised. But look at this. DRS example gets a lot of damage. It's Sinchir who will deliver some bullets. An example will be forced to move back. But utilities are gonna come in. I see why he breaks the fight, breaks the barrier for himself, and I believe this is the knock that they needed. The opening is gonna be there. Are they gonna push? I think they are gonna push. They are gonna charge in with those beautiful grenades, and I see why. Now that they know it's a 3v3 situation, they can capitalize on it on the front side. There are going to be some Molotovs going in. Cyclone coming in with the shotgun, takes one down. Senchi on the back of it. He will be taken down by example. Riley's the last man standing, and before he gets spotted, he knocks one down and eliminates him. Down to the last 2 players, but DRS to win the fight. And here comes another third party. Bandit Esports is going to charge in this time, but Team Talon fell to a 4th party on them. What is going on? This is absolute mayhem, absolute chaos out there. DRS coming up against Talon Esports, and then a third party coming in from Bandit side. Everything is, going crazy. The whole lobby is going crazy.
Yeah, nobody is holding back. We still have 10 teams left to fight it out for that top position. Here we go, though. It's going to be DRS. Putting a bit of an opportunity here onto Talon. Talon looking good. 6 eliminations. Sitting at the top of the board. 78 points to start off the match with. And now T2K are going to be the next team out of here as we are entering the top 9. RRQ at a 1-4-1. Finding themselves in a bit of an altercation as well. Voin Donkey, a solo just up ahead. That is going to be Potato trying to keep themselves out of harm's way. DRS looking for the next position to call home. But I'm curious as to how they're going to move through this, right? You got R3G there. Several teams in the vicinity and not the easiest region to play through. There are so many angles that you got to be super cautious of. Zibia now going to be experiencing that first hand, but a quick hit trade there with the DBS. They do find the hit, but it's not going to be enough to convert it just yet. Lapar also keeping that pressure on. Now, RRQ, they could turn this against K2, but K2, as we know, very capable of holding. They are not going to be backing down just yet, and it's going to be a very hairy fight against them. RRQ, though, they have a beautiful elevated position to play off of. You can see the Xavier moving up in the background. But let's see. Can RRQ clutch this one up? They've got 5 eliminations. They need a few more if they want to finish strong. But that's going to be K2 taking a whole bucket load of damage. Not enough, though. Lapar not going to be stopping, though. Backing up. Cooking the nade. This one could be enough to close it out. Damage almost finds its way through. K2 just narrowly escaping the eventual. But there we have it. 1-for-1 is down. Down goes Lapar. As Levi, here's the shots. Capitalizes on the opportunity. Gets the knock, but no confirmation just yet.
Absolutely. Third party fights are happening everywhere. You see your team fighting with another, and then here comes 2 to 3 more names. The kill feed is getting all the colors. Yellow, red, pink from Bandit side. But Bandit, they are managing to survive with the last pair. In all that process, although Talon managed to have 7 elimination points, it's TRS who has 8 elimination points. So yeah, this Miramar match is something that we were not expecting. I mean, the teams are playing so aggressively. It's unbelievable. RRQ once again on the charge. They have 6 elimination points. Now they're charging onto some solos. Levi's is the last man standing, and he will be dealt with by the last few bullets that team RRQ's player had. A beautiful shotgun delivery, 7th elimination point confirmed. And now, Team RRQ will get a breather for some time because there is no other team in front of them. But Halal Exitron, they still have to deal with one solo. And it was dealt by someone else. DRS will spot him. Titan Sports gets eliminated. In this match, it's like you spot someone, you try to push on them, and before you go there, there's someone else who tries to push on them, and they reach before you do. This is absolute chaos.
Yeah, but you should be looking down your scope if you want to be the first one to land the hits, right? That is going to be the play to take here, because by the time that you scope back in, it's too late. As you've mentioned, the player has already been eliminated, so you do lose on that elimination. There's going to be a nice treat coming down here for Halal Axatron as well. Got to watch out, though. Hokia is hanging in the wing. Vazi also managing to still survive and ride out the storm. But we've got 6 teams remaining. R3G, 5 eliminations up. Love the aggression. But are they going to be able to capitalize on a solo playing for placement points? Vazi will have some pretty high odds stacked against them. Of course, Voin Donkey also coming through with that solo. Then we've got Halal Axatron as well as DRS, RRQ. We've got Bandit in the mix. So many teams looking to contest, looking to step up, locking in that winner chicken dinner. But the race is on. Blue zone is going to close in the next 15 seconds or so the pressure will continue to build. The teams have no clear way exactly where to go, but they're going to try every trick in the book to get themselves closer to that winner chicken dinner.
Absolutely, 10 elimination points. That's a great number. Cyclone with 5, once again leading the charge, leading the pack of wolves. But Cyclone, look at the elevation. Although he is not inside the zone, he needs to move inside the zone. But he gotta be careful. There's one player, Voin Donkey's on the back. He can definitely stab you. And if Cyclone gets knocked out from the backside, he will get eliminated too. There will be no chances of revival. But is Voin Donkey's Potato gonna do that? On the eastern side, there are some players of team Halal Exitron. That's the best thing about Halal Exitron. Once they focus on the rotations, no one can stop them. But Voin Donkey's Potato, he's gonna join the party from the backside. Will take down Cyclone. Cyclone knows that he has no hopes to get a revive. That's why he's gonna move forward, because the zone was also charged in, and DR's JD. Now he tries to get there, but still, these compounds are not inside the zone. These solos are going to suffer their demise by the hands of either Team Halal Exitron or Team RRQ. Because look at RRQ. They are just going all in, knocking on the doors, confirming elimination numbers. They're just giving everybody a, how do we say, like a home delivery.
Yeah. It is a straight to your door aggression play here. But you were talking about the solos, and there's still quite a few of them remaining. RRQ and Halal Exitron, the final 2 teams with the strong numbers. Are they going to be able to capitalize on it, though? DRS, JD trying to smoke it up, trying to pretend like they're not there. But RRQ has caught wind. They are going to full send it as the rush is about to find its way to their doorstep. Up comes the play. The nade could look to end the run. RRQ, though, I like this barrage, right? Just trying to ensure that there's nobody left in that little shack, and that nade is going to ensure that there's nobody left in that shack. DRS, out they go, 10 eliminations, but they do bag a few of those placement points as well. Now, RRQ looking to push this one all the way to the very end. 9 eliminations strong. Can they pick up the remaining solos? And, of course, the players coming through there from Halal Axatron.
Absolutely, RRQ, what a show of skills by them. 9 elimination numbers in the tally. It's a 1v1 situation on between Team R3 and Bandit side, where RRQ, their challengers are Halal Exitron. We know that Halal can be very dangerous if we talk about those sneaky plays. They can surprise you, and he spotted a player between this hay bale. But still, the player managed to survive. Although you had the opportunity to throw a grenade. Okay, you had no utility, but now then we decided to throw a grenade. Hokia got spotted by someone else. That's the same explanation of what I mentioned previously, that you will try to fight with someone, you will come forward, charge in, and someone else will eliminate him, and that's exactly what happened. But R3G, where is the last man standing? I really want to see. Look at the map. The map control is with RRQ. The minute advantage, although nobody had the minute advantage, but Team RRQ, they have everything. The circle, the circle, the map control specifically, and that solo is also gonna create a lot of problems for Team HLE, not for Team RRQ. So let's see what's gonna happen if HLE still manage to go against all the other get a chicken dinner. But it will be a huge opportunity for them to be on the top 3 in the points table. But let's see what's gonna happen. RRQ still trying to close in, still trying to go all in. Let's see if Team Halal spots them or try to be a little bit aggressive. I think this is the best position that Team Halal Exitron's player has. This is the best position that they can have.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna definitely try and get that winner chicken dinner, right? They'll be the first team, the only team, to sit with 3 chicken dinners in the last chance qualifier. That would be quite a bit of a statement to make coming into the grand finals itself. But now, R3G, Fuzzy all the way up on towards the north. RRQ looking quite active, looking to expand all their options here. But I'm curious as to what Halal are going to be looking to do here, right? We still got Mad Cat on that far southern side. You definitely don't want to get caught out by the blue, not in stage number 7. There we go. There is a potential spotted play over on towards the far side. Vazi also now starting to move up. So Halal Axatron getting ready to execute the strategies. RRQ, though, going to try and capitalize before HLE can. But there we go. The elimination gets stolen through. HLE rising up now with 3 eliminations. There's 3 more to go. They could finish on 6 in total, as well as bagging a potential third winner chicken dinner. RRQ, though, this could be golden for them. This could be exactly what they need to come back into contention here. They need to finish strong. They need at least 20 points if they want to try and even just catch the top 9. So RRQ will have to go for gold. They need the victory. Along with the eliminations they already have, that is 20 points on board. So at the very minimum, they'll be walking away with 16 points. Let's see how many they can secure.
Well, they have every possible advantage. If you look at it, I mean, the wraparound is going to be there. Lapar, look at his position. That is brilliant. So let's see where the zone is going to go. I think the zone is in the favor of both the teams. It's still in the center. Both the teams have their fair share inside the zone. But RRQ, they need to get the first knockout. Whoever takes the first knockout will probably win this fight. I mean, the advantage is going to be there after converting fight in a 2v3. But RRQ, what is he looking at? That's your own teammates. Why are you not looking on your opponents? He thinks that there is someone so close, but I think there's nobody. You gotta watch out. You gotta be careful. Yeah.
Just testing out the skills, making sure that they can still sneak up on someone, right? I mean,
yeah.
You don't want to sneak up on the opponent and only to realize that they've been able to see you the whole time. So rather try it on your teammate, and if they can't see you, then at least something's going according to plan. Now we could look at the Hitman and a lot of O's prepping themselves for a bit of an altercation, a bit of an exchange here. You can see the smokes now getting sent up into center zone. Stage 9 about to hit. And that is going to be absolutely chaotic. RRQ, though, getting aggressive. They rush straight on forward. Oh, quick pickup here coming in. Hitman gets the first. Lapar could get shot in the head here as 90 degree is going to be looking to just fall back. But unfortunately, turning their back on the opponents is not the way to go. No, Mad Cat is going to be the last one left to try and make a difference. The confirmation is in. Ooh, Lapar knows exactly where to send that nade. Let's see, will this one from Mad Cat connect up? It does find a little bit of something, but damage is surely not what it has landed. Oh, there we go. Mad Cat gets the trade. Lapar is down, tries to get the confirmation, succeeds in doing that. The 1v2 showdown. A little bit of information getting relayed there by the rest of HLE as Hitman's. Kind of just indicates where they are. Now, Mad Cat needs a little bit more health. Oh, but that nade is going to prevent quite a bit of that from happening. Now, where will they go? Only so many places left to retreat to. This could be that opportunity for a quick patch up. Oh, the nades, yeah, pretty focused in the smoke. Now, Mad Cat has a second chance. Are they going to be able to clutch it out? You got to watch the edge of the smoke, because that is exactly where RRQ is going to try and breach from. But they've got the zone. They know. Halal, Axatron, Mad Cat needs to move towards them. There's no other way out of this.
Absolutely, the smokes are fading away. Once the smokes fade away, it will be no more cover for Matt Cat. He's still trying to stay away from all the fight, but here comes a beautiful grenade, and RRQ will seal the deal. And with this victory, they once again sent a statement out here that RRQ is here and they are here to dominate. And they're like, we are only getting things started. But I think it's too late to get things started, but still, I mean, there's one more match. RRQ, if they perform the same way, they can definitely qualify. But with the second winner, I think RRQ will be placing themselves into the top 9.
Yeah, they are definitely going to be trying to pull off that move. We'll find out soon whether or not they have done enough. As I said, they need quite a few points to contest for the top 9, right? Seeing that the barrier has been set so high, it was on 50 plus points, almost 60 points. So were they able to secure the necessary placements?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the placement, yes. Eliminations, that's going to be the big question. But RRQ, they're going to be feeling happy. They walked away with 13 eliminations and that winner chicken dinner. Now, we're not going to rely on any custom math to figure out whether or not they were able to gain that entry, but it will be revealed very, very soon. Of course, first up is going to be over towards our MVP. We saw quite a few contenders stepping up to the plate, but I'm pretty sure our MVP is going to come through from the RRQ side.
Maybe it's going to be someone from RRQ. Probably Lapar is going to be there, or it can be someone from maybe someone from those solos. DRS, they also had good amount of elimination numbers. It can be anyone. Although a couple of holes, he played brilliantly in this match. Nogger also got the job done. He was also there with some crispy aim delivery, crispy knockouts and elimination points confirmed. But yes, elimination numbers were there in their favor. That was a beautiful match. And Kitan is going to come forward. He's going to step in from 1-for-1 side all the way from the bottom of the table. Although 1-for-1, they realized that they are in a lot of trouble, but the realization was not on time. It kicked in a little bit late. If the realization, if they've realized, at the starting of the day, things would have been different for them. But now it's too late. Only one match to go. They need to have 30 points in their favor. If 1-for-1 gets 30 points, only then probably they will get their fair share on the 9th spot. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Kitan with 4 eliminations, 1,025 damage. That's a brilliant number. Individual domination is going to be there, but teamwork is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it was a tough one, but 1,027 damage is going to go a long, long way so beautifully to them. But let's take a look and see what that point situation is. How many points were our squads able to secure? Will we see enough of a difference being applied to those rankings to change it up? RRQ, though, coming in hot with 23 points. I don't want to do the math, but that does look like 60 points that they will have in total now. Is that going to be enough for a slot in the top 9? We don't quite know. DRS, Halal, Axatron, and Regicide all securing themselves double-digit finishes here as well. But the big kicker is going to be whether or not we see a change or nothing at all. T2K, Champions, Vikings, and 4YLC going to get sent back, but with nothing but a bag of donuts. And so they will have to step it up in the final match. It's all going to boil down to game number 12 to see who will make it in and who will have to join us in the chat.
Absolutely. 4LC, they're struggling. 0 points. They didn't get any point. But talking about the points table, the table toppers are back. Tyrant Sports once again getting the first spot from Team Vampire Sports, but the difference is not quite there. White Donkeys on the other side trying their level best to chase down, but they were unable to do that. Halal Exitron moving on towards the first spot, but DRS joining in the top 6 with one good match, with one great game. And RRQ is also there with 60 points. They can qualify. They just need to keep this performance up in the next match, in the last match. And what a comeback storyline by RRQ.
Yep. They're going to have to play the best game coming into this next one if they want to ensure that they stay right here well within the top 9. But we got to take a look and see who's going to be coming in hot on their heels. As you know, 60 point is the entry into the top 9. Nextory, 3 points away. T2K, 3 points away. Champions, 4 points away. And it goes all the way to Tribe Eremacy. So anyone from 10th to 14th place could very comfortably still catch that 9th place. So nothing is secured. Nothing is certain. There's no guarantee just yet. We do, however, know that the two teams sitting at the very tippity top of those rankings, I don't see them getting moved out of the top 9, right? That's not going to happen in one match, but it is still going to be a very hot and sweaty play to see who can lock it in, who can secure what needs to be done to run all the way through and place their flag in that top 9 slot.
Absolutely. There's one more match to go, and what's going to happen in the last match, only time is going to tell. But we're going to wait and find out. Before that, before the next match, we're going to take a very short break. So stay tuned, stay with us. We will be right back with the next match.